Chapter 1, Chapter 1. Understanding basic terms in influencing human behavior. Human behavior arises from the intricate interplay of multiple elements, shaping our actions in specific situations. These factors not only dictate how we react to others, but also influence how others respond to us. While our reactions often seem instinctive or immediate, a significant amount of cognitive processing precedes them, guiding our behaviors. The ways in which our actions are shaped include manipulation, coercion, persuasion, and influence. Recognizing these distinct thought patterns and their consequences can enlighten us as to why individuals behave in certain ways. This understanding also empowers personal growth by enhancing character development and people insight. Furthermore, it allows us to strategically leverage persuasive and influential approaches while avoiding the pitfalls of manipulation and coercion. Manipulation involves using deceptive or misleading tactics to achieve a desired outcome, often by exploiting someone's vulnerabilities or emotional state. The manipulated person may not even realize they are being influenced in this way. Coercion is the use of force, intimidation, or threat to get someone to do something against their will. This can be physical, like withholding food, or psychological, such as blackmail. Persuasion, on the other hand, relies on using logical arguments, emotional appeals, and rational reasoning to convince someone of a particular point of view or action. A persuader presents information in an honest and transparent way, allowing the person being persuaded to make their own informed decision. Influence is the subtle yet effective process of shaping opinions, attitudes, or behaviors through various means, such as social proof, authority endorsement, or personal connections. Unlike persuasion, influence doesn't necessarily rely on logical arguments. Instead, it taps into people's natural inclinations and desires. Key differences. A manipulation often involves deception. Coercion is about force. Persuasion relies on reason, and influence uses a combination of strategy. Our manipulation tends to be more subtle and insidious, while coercion is typically more overt. Persuasion and influence both aim to guide people's decisions, but they differ in the methods used and the level of transparency involved. Interpreting the nuances of manipulation, coercion, persuasion, and sway enables individuals to grasp the complexities of human behavior. This understanding allows one to recognize their own actions and those of others, pinpointing aspects that are amendable for personal growth or improvement, while also identifying potential pitfalls in shaping the behaviors of self and others. Manipulation. Manipulation is a covert method of gaining power over someone by using deceptive, cunning tactics to alter their behavior or beliefs. Its ultimate goal is to exploit the person emotionally and mentally for the manipulator's own benefit. On the other hand, positive influence seeks to establish lasting, constructive relationships without harming others in the process. Manipulative individuals employ various insidious strategies to get others to do what they want, often at the victim's expense. This can lead to the manipulated individual experiencing emotional distress and psychological harm as a direct result of the manipulation. In contrast, manipulators tend to benefit from their tactics while leaving lasting negative impacts on the people they manipulate. Manipulators employ various tactics to achieve their objectives. They bombard individuals with information, denying them the time to thoroughly consider a decision. By belittling victims or highlighting their insecurities, manipulators erode self-confidence. They exploit weaknesses and distort facts to support their agenda. Manipulators may feign victimhood by exaggerating problems and instilling guilt in others over circumstances beyond their control. Furthermore, they might feign ignorance of a topic, thereby shifting responsibility onto the other party. A person must comprehend the art of manipulation, wherein individuals employ cunning tactics to influence others' actions through deceitful means. Some excel in this craft, capable of covertly controlling those unaware. Recognizing how manipulation functions enables one to shield themselves from manipulative individuals or circumstances, and even develop self-awareness to refrain from manipulating others when they sense it within themselves. Coercion. Coercion is the act of forcing an individual or group to take specific actions or abstain from them through the use of intimidation, actual power, or a combination of both. It can manifest as social exclusion, psychological manipulation, and economic pressure to achieve its intended outcome. Coercion diverges from persuasion in that it relies on force, or the threat of it, to influence someone's behavior or decision-making, as opposed to relying solely on logical argumentation or appeal. On one hand, coercion involves using force or pressure to achieve dominance and control over others, often employed by governments domestically and internationally. On the other hand, persuasion aims to convince individuals through logical reasoning that resonates with both their rational thinking and emotions, ultimately influencing them to take specific action. Coercion manipulates individuals through force or intimidation, often seen as a cynical approach. While it may be necessary for intense political situations to prevent war, caution is needed to avoid abuse by the enforcer. Typically, coercion is employed only when other methods like persuasion and influence have failed in shaping human behavior. Proper application of pressure is crucial to ensure its effectiveness without exploiting those coerced. Persuasion. Persuasion is the act of influencing someone's outlook, emotions and actions regarding an individual or situation by presenting factual claims and logical reasoning. To grasp the underlying mechanics of persuasion, one should be familiar with its 6 fundamental principles. Once mastered, these principles enable individuals to recognize opportunities where persuasion can be applied effectively to their benefit. The key principles are A. To be continued. 1. A rule of reciprocity. The concept of persuasion relies on reciprocity, which is rooted in treating others as you would like them to treat you. When someone receives a favor or good deed, they feel an obligation to repay that kindness. This motivates individuals to do good deeds and help others with the expectation of receiving similar assistance when needed. Reciprocity can manifest in both overt actions, such as a restaurant offering coupons, and subtle ones. This principle not only fosters cooperation, but also facilitates efficient goal achievement through constructive problem-solving. 2. Principle of authority. This persuasion principle leverages the authority of someone considered knowledgeable in a specific area. When an individual views another as an expert, they are more likely to trust that person's guidance and decisions, as they believe the expert possesses in-depth knowledge and can facilitate efficient, rational choices. The expert's credibility and expertise serve as the driving force behind their influence, which is often showcased through displaying credentials and sharing knowledge to emphasize their authority within a particular field. Professionals publicly showcase their qualifications and credentials in their offices for clients to review, including certificates and essential documents on display walls and awards in cabinets. This visual representation of expertise helps establish credibility and trustworthiness. Additionally, they can voluntarily share their credentials during initial introductions, ensuring potential clients are well informed about the person with whom they'll collaborate. By presenting evidence of authority, professionals foster a sense of trust, enabling others to confidently follow their guidance and decision. 3. Principle of consistency. This principle leverages personal commitments made publicly to influence others' actions. It relies on 3 key aspects: active decision-making, where an individual makes an informed choice and declares it verbally or in writing; voluntary promises, as people take responsibility for fulfilling their pledges; and public declaration, which involves sharing one's commitment openly to garner support and accountability. By doing so, individuals encourage others to follow suit by demonstrating a personal commitment to the cause. This refers to the practice of making conscious, self-initiated decisions that lead to personal accountability. When individuals voluntarily make a choice or take an action, it encourages others to follow suit by adjusting their behaviors or attitudes. Voluntary involvement means a person chooses to act without coercion, allowing them to be consistent in fulfilling their commitments and earn trust from others, who may then entrust them with more responsibilities. 4. Concept of scarcity. The perception of value often increases when something becomes scarce or less accessible. This psychological principle leverages the natural phenomenon of supply and demand by creating limited opportunities, exclusive access, or emphasizing potential losses to evoke feelings of scarcity in those involved. By doing so, it heightens the desire for and perceived worth of a product or offer. Exclusive privileges grant individuals special access to resources, goods, or locations. Phrases like limited time only and don't miss out in marketing language emphasize the consequences of not taking action on an offer. Combining limited quantities with time constraints creates a scarcity effect, driving people to take prompt action. This potent combination persuades customers to seize opportunities before they expire. 5. Principle of consensus. This persuasion principle leverages social proof, where individuals adopt a course of action after observing others in similar situations. When uncertain about how to react, they mirror the feelings and reactions of others who've experienced the same circumstances. By referencing the actions of others, an individual can influence others' thoughts and behaviors, potentially citing statistics that demonstrate positive outcomes resulting from collective effort. 6. I-liking principle. This principle posits that an individual is more likely to be influenced by someone they admire, sharing characteristics and working together towards a shared objective. Affinity is also fostered through complementary praise. This principle suggests that positive emotions are the driving force behind people following the guidance or lead of another person. When a person has romantic feelings for someone, it tends to foster strong, favorable emotions towards that person, which in turn affects their decision-making process. Moreover, they often feel a sense of connection with this individual, prompting them to adjust not only their thoughts, but also their behaviors in accordance with the latter's guidance or direction. Influence. Influence denotes the ability to envision an optimal outcome for a business or situation, and rallying others to collaborate towards achieving it without relying on coercion or force. In contrast, influence does not involve dictating what others must do. Persuasion, meanwhile, is about expediting results by convincing people to alter their perspectives and behaviors within a relatively short time frame. Effective persuasion tactics rely on presenting compelling arguments that support a specific claim in an effort to redirect someone's stance. In contrast to impact, influence focuses on building trust over time to persuade others to act in a desired way. Impact aims to win the affection of its audience by taking the time to gain their genuine commitment and attention. This sincerity is then leveraged to inspire and drive those individuals towards making specific choices or following a particular path. Influence stems from establishing credibility and trust over an extended period. While someone can exert influence through targeted persuasion techniques, it's crucial to build rapport beforehand to minimize doubts. Chapter 2. Principles of Persuasion. When considering the concept of superpowers, most individuals typically associate it with fictional characters like those found in comic book franchises, such as the Avengers or Justice League. Yet one's mindset can shift by recognizing that any exceptional skill, when mastered, can be viewed as a form of superpower. In this context, persuasion is an exemplary example, as the ability to persuasively influence others can have a profound impact, making it a potent and real-life superpower. Jenny Cullen suggests that the ability to convincingly persuade is the most impressive superpower of all. Persuasion involves shifting another person's beliefs or actions regarding a circumstance or individual through persistent logical reasoning or argumentation. To achieve this, one uses well-structured information and logical arguments, while also incorporating emotional appeals, pathos, establishing credibility, ethos, and conveying enthusiasm to effectively sway others' opinions. To persuasively sway others, it's crucial to grasp 6 fundamental principles. By comprehending these key tenets, one can develop the skill of persuasion and wield its power in everyday life like a superhuman ability. Additionally, this knowledge will equip individuals to resist manipulation by those with less than noble intentions seeking to influence them negatively. The rule of reciprocity. The foundation of interpersonal connections lies in reciprocity. When you extend help or kindness, others are likely to do the same. As stated by Carol Quigley, this is because people naturally feel compelled to return a favor, gift, or service received from someone else. The key to successful persuasion under this principle hinges on the quality and manner of what one offers to others. The key to effective gift-giving lies in presenting something of value, unexpectedly yet thoughtfully tailored to the individual's preferences. Such an action should be executed without prior expectation from the recipient, conveying genuine sincerity. As a result, the person will likely feel compelled to reciprocate at some point, whether promptly or at a later time, depending on circumstances. When implementing the principle of reciprocity, it's crucial to treat others in a manner that aligns with their expectations for how they would be treated themselves. This concept is evident in overt exchanges, like those employed by marketers and sales professionals, but also manifests in more subtle forms where individuals utilize psychological tactics to foster a sense of mutual benefit. To illustrate, consider a common retail strategy where a product is priced at X, but an additional bonus or gift is included if the customer makes the purchase. This tactic leverages the psychological principle of reciprocity, as the company hopes that by offering this extra incentive, customers will be more likely to buy other products from them in the future. Elected officials employ this strategy during their terms and electoral campaigns, utilizing the time and resources at their disposal to implement initiatives like building schools or enhancing infrastructure. These projects then serve as a means to garner voter support, as citizens perceive the politicians' contributions to their community's betterment and are more likely to vote in their favor as a result. At home or elsewhere, people often reciprocate kindness through social gatherings, such as hosting a party for someone's arrival, which then prompts the other individual to invite them back. Similarly, reciprocal behavior occurs when one shows respect towards others, leading to similar respect in return. This mutual exchange of respectful actions fosters harmonious interactions among individuals. Reciprocity fosters mutual support and success, as individuals can leverage their connections to overcome obstacles. By lending a hand to a colleague in need, one may receive aid in return when facing a challenge, such as an illness, allowing them to achieve their objectives that might have been otherwise out of reach. This interdependent dynamic strengthens relationships and amplifies individual accomplishment. The principle of reciprocity inspires individuals to behave in ways that elicit similar actions from others, fostering a sense of mutual benefit. This psychological phenomenon exerts significant influence on people's decisions and conduct due to the emotional debt of obligation that develops as a result of reciprocation. In essence, when someone extends kindness or aid, they tend to anticipate similar treatment in the future, shaping their interactions with others around this expectation of return favors. The concept of scarcity. The principle of scarcity in persuasion leverages human nature's instinctive response to limited resources. By exploiting the supply and demand dynamic, this approach capitalizes on the perception that less available something is, the more valuable it becomes to individuals. To effectively persuade, scarcity tactics employ 3 key features. offering limited opportunities, restricting access, and using loss-oriented language to create a sense of inadequacy or missing out in others, fostering a desire for the scarce resource. Limited time deals, also known as restricted offers, create urgency by imposing both quantity and temporal constraints, encouraging people to take advantage of a promotion before it expires. A common example is holiday sales, such as Black Friday or Christmas discounts on electronics. Advertisements for these deals often emphasize the time-sensitive nature of the offer, stating while supplies last, or limited time only. This tactic creates a sense of scarcity and limited opportunity, leading consumers to purchase more products during the promotional period than they would at other times of the year. The perception of scarcity can foster a sense of specialness among individuals who have access to rare offerings. Exclusivity grants people privileged entry to limited services, knowledge, and goods, which in turn drives demand due to the desire for recognition and appreciation. Notable examples of this phenomenon include the VIP programs found in banking and aviation, where customers receive elevated attention and treatment as a result. In financial institutions, high-value clients typically receive top-tier service, often enjoying private consultation spaces with account managers. Airports provide luxurious amenities to their VIP and first-class passengers through exclusive lounges, complete with refreshments and facilities like gaming areas. On board, first-class cabins offer distinct seating arrangements and gourmet menus separate from standard economy class offerings. By offering unique access and exclusivity, these establishments create a sense of scarcity, influencing behavior and perception, among others. Using loss language. In Persuasion strengthens a message implying potential loss rather than gain. This technique is commonly employed by marketers, such as warning customers they'll miss out if they don't act soon. Don't be left out. For instance, a play's promoters might highlight its popularity and urge early ticket purchases to avoid missing the show. Similarly, artists can utilize this tactic when selling concert tickets, or even create a sense of urgency by announcing their retirement, encouraging fans to attend one of their potentially final performances. The principle of scarcity exerts its impact by employing three distinct strategies that shape individuals' perceptions and behaviors. When all three tactics are used in conjunction, the effect of scarcity on decision-making becomes amplified, thereby increasing the persuasiveness of the communicated messages. The principle of authority. The principle of authority states that individuals tend to trust and adopt the views of those seen as knowledgeable or skilled in a particular domain. This shortcut enables people to make informed choices more efficiently, as they rely on the expertise of authorities rather than investing significant time in personal analysis. Authorities serve as a reference point for making prompt and well-informed decisions. The principle of authority hinges on a person's credibility and expertise within a specific field. Since these qualities aren't self-evident, individuals should proactively assert their credentials to establish trust. This can be achieved by seizing every chance to showcase one's competence, whether through publicly displaying accomplishments like awards or certificates, in order for others to become aware of their knowledge and reliability. To illustrate, someone offers dietary guidance to a friend struggling with weight issues, even specifying which foods to consume. However, the friend fails to implement these suggestions and instead seeks professional assistance from a registered nutritionist drawn to the expert's credentials and authority. Notably, the nutritionist recommends the same food choices initially suggested by the initial person, and the friend is more receptive to following this advice. A nutritionist's opinion can carry more weight than a friend's due to their professional authority, affecting an individual's decisions as a result. Similarly, symbols of authority, like police uniforms and badges, command respect. For instance, when a law enforcement officer in uniform signals you to stop, you will typically comply, but if the person is dressed casually, you're more likely to keep driving. This dynamic applies too to FBI agents, who gain access and cooperation by displaying their official credentials during a home visit. When introducing themselves, individuals can effectively showcase their skills by sharing concise background details. This practice allows them to effortlessly weave in relevant experience and expertise, fostering trust with the listener. As a result, the listener can confidently rely on the speaker's informed opinions for sound guidance on the topic at hand. To establish credibility, one may highlight their qualifications or have an assistant mention them when interacting with potential clients. Notably, sharing a decade plus of experience in a field can instill confidence in the individual's expertise, increasing the likelihood of collaboration. Additionally, skillfully weaving accomplishments into casual conversations can be effective for networking and building connections at events. By adeptly discussing credentials and knowledge, individuals can strengthen their professional standing and foster relationships with others. To exert significant influence and successfully persuade others to put faith in your guidance, one must skillfully employ the concept of authority. This involves not only possessing authority, but also utilizing it with finesse and tact to inspire confidence and prompt others to align behind your vision. The principle of consistency, the sixth principle of persuasion, harnesses the power of deliberate, public, and binding commitments to motivate someone to take action. This occurs when an individual makes a thoughtful, voluntary promise, out loud or in writing, and then follows through on their commitment due to the sense of obligation it creates. By actively choosing their course of action, they are more likely to see it through to completion. Imagine someone initiating a fundraising campaign for a charity by creating a donation form where individuals can record their name and intended contribution. This person then visits local homes, explaining the purpose behind their efforts and inquiring about each household's interest in donating. Some will agree after learning more, filling out the form with their name and designated amount. Come collection time, they will contribute as promised because they actively considered and committed to supporting the cause. Voluntary commitment is a self-directed decision where an individual chooses to participate without coercion. This type of commitment applies to both personal and public endeavors, as the value lies in the willingness of the participant. In the given example, neighbors opt into a donation project by freely signing their names and pledging contributions, exemplifying voluntary commitment. When individuals publicly declare their commitment to a cause or action, it fosters a sense of collective responsibility within the community. This is because others observe the involvement of fellow participants, which not only inspires them to join in, but also motivates them to uphold their promises and be accountable for their commitments. In the given example, observing neighbors participating in the donation process through public declarations of commitment encourages other neighbors to follow suit, promoting a culture of mutual responsibility and reliability. As others publicly demonstrate their commitment by making contributions, this social proof can motivate those still undecided to follow suit. When individuals become invested in a collective effort, they tend to feel more accountable and thus more likely to fulfill their pledges. This is especially true when people's actions are visible to others, as the fear of appearing unreliable or uncooperative may prompt them to donate the promised fund. When individuals make public, voluntary, and active commitments, it fosters a sense of accountability and trust among them. By doing so, people are more likely to uphold their promises as they strive for consistency. The practice of making small commitments often leads to an individual's willingness to take on larger responsibilities in order to maintain this reputation for reliability. This predictability, in turn, shapes their decisions regarding specific commitments and ultimately motivates them to fulfill these pledges. The liking principle. According to the fifth principle of persuasion, individuals are more likely to be persuaded by people they like. This liking can be influenced by three key factors: receiving genuine praise from others, collaborating on shared objectives, and identifying commonalities with that person. When these conditions are met, a bond forms, making an individual more receptive to the ideas presented by someone they've grown fond of. When someone receives genuine praise or compliments, it tends to foster a positive sentiment towards the giver and their ideas. As an example, sales associates in clothing stores often offer customers verbal affirmations while they try on garments. This can lead the customer to feel more receptive to the store and its products, ultimately resulting in increased purchases due to the psychological boost from the complimentary remarks. When an individual collaborates with someone else towards shared objectives, they tend to develop a sense of unity and deference to that person's lead. This fosters cooperation as they perceive themselves as part of the same team working towards common goals. A classic illustration of this is the good cop, bad cop technique used by detectives during interrogations, where one officer plays the role of friendly and understanding, good cop, while the other adopts a stern or intimidating attitude, bad cop. This approach aims to create a sense of rapport with the suspect and encourage cooperation. The suspect is more likely to be cooperative when dealing with a police officer who presents themselves as approachable and helpful, fostering a sense of mutual support. This good cop demeanor leverages the liking principle, causing the individual to perceive the officer as genuinely invested in resolving the issue and securing their freedom, leading to increased cooperation. When someone discovers an individual who shares similarities with them, they tend to make decisions influenced by this person's opinions and actions. For instance, rather than randomly selecting a product online or in store, one may opt for something a trusted friend has endorsed because they perceive that friend are similar to themselves. This perceived similarity fosters trust, leading the individual to adopt their friend's choices and preferences. Marketers employ models representative of their target audience to optimize advertising efforts. A cosmetic company showcases a diverse range of models catering to distinct skin tones to enable individuals to identify with the products and ultimately make a purchase. This approach fosters connection and encourages consumer engagement. The liking principle suggests that our affinity towards someone grants them the power to shape our behaviors and choices. When we find someone likable, we become more receptive to their influence, allowing their opinions to impact our decisions and actions. In essence, the more we like an individual, the more open we are to being influenced by them. The principle consensus. The last key to persuasion involves observing and emulating others' behavior. People often form their own responses by examining how others behave in comparable situations, using these cues to guide their thoughts, emotions, or reactions when faced with uncertainty. This principle is particularly useful when an individual doesn't know the proper course of action and instead adopts the actions of someone experiencing a similar situation, finding inspiration in their example. Let's say someone wants to get an app on their phone, but isn't familiar with it. They'll likely check out popular apps with similar functions and read the comments left by users who downloaded them. In this case, they might choose the most popular app with positive reviews, even if they don't know anything about it beforehand. This approach gives them a sense of reassurance, knowing many others have already used and liked that particular app. As a result, people often rely on collective opinions to inform their decisions, trusting that the majority's experience will guide them. This phenomenon is summed up in the saying, "There's safety in numbers," implying that those who are uninformed about a situation can still make informed choices by observing how others have reacted or thought in the past. To influence others effectively through the principle of consensus, one can leverage peer pressure by showcasing the behaviors or actions of comparable peers or groups. By highlighting that a majority of people from a similar demographic or age group are engaging in a certain activity, an individual can encourage others to follow suit, capitalizing on the natural inclination for people to conform to the norms and actions of those within their own social circle. The concept can be applied by demonstrating how others are already following a guideline or rule. For instance, a manager can promote compliance with a new policy by having some team members initially follow it, thereby influencing others to do the same. The principle also works in crisis situations. For example, seeing frequent reminders on performing first aid after an accident, accompanied by statistics showing improved survival rates when bystanders take action, can prompt an individual to react appropriately in case of an emergency. This person is likely to take initiative and help someone in need, overcoming the bystander effect. They will also serve as a role model, inspiring others to follow their lead. Similarly, companies use collective experiences to influence individual actions, such as using statistics to encourage people to act similarly. Health organizations can leverage success stories like this one, while environmental groups might highlight small actions that collectively make a positive impact, like turning off unused lights. By showcasing the effectiveness of these efforts, they inspire others to take similar actions. Mastering the 6 principles of persuasion enables individuals to skillfully shape others' emotions, thoughts, and actions. For those aiming to modify attitudes or behaviors in others, it's crucial to grasp the significance and practical application of these principles. Moreover, being aware of when someone is utilizing these principles to persuade can provide a competitive edge in both personal and professional interactions. By understanding how others are influenced, an individual can recognize when they are being influenced themselves. This awareness empowers them to respond effectively and dodge potential manipulations. Ultimately, this insight helps individuals orchestrate personal transformations through subtle shifts in emotions and thoughts, leading to both minor and profound changes in their lives. Chapter 3. How to be more persuasive. Persuasion is a genuine and respectful approach, rather than an aggressive or deceitful one. It doesn't rely on coercion, constant reminders, or deception to get others to adopt certain behaviors. Instead, it aims to inspire people to make informed decisions that align with their true desires, free from undue influence or pressure. While blending elements from both approaches, it employs a subtle persuasion method that nudges individuals in a gentle fashion, akin to subtle manipulation. This approach doesn't coerce or force people into choices contrary to their desires. Notably, many assume they independently arrive at decisions through personal deliberation. However, the reality is that most conclusions are influenced by others' persuasive strategies. Mastering persuasion is an invaluable asset that can significantly contribute to one's success in various aspects of life. By effectively presenting oneself, ideas, and opinions, individuals can often achieve their goals. Such people excel at convincing others, whether it's a customer to purchase a product, a boss for a salary raise, or a colleague to lend a helping hand. Moreover, they effortlessly persuade partners to complete chores, and even manage to get finicky toddlers to eat what they don't initially want to. While some individuals may seem naturally adept at convincing others, persuasion is indeed a skill that anyone can develop and utilize in various aspects of life, both personally and professionally. This valuable ability has numerous smart strategies for making people accept an idea, listen to your opinion, purchase a product or service, tip generously, perform a favor, and generally agree with your request. The following techniques and advice are designed to empower you to accomplish far more than previously imaginable. Use of persuasive techniques. Clever language. The art of persuasion begins with the effective presentation of an idea, heavily influenced by the choice of words used. To be convincing, one must employ clever language, as the deliberate use of the word "you" can captivate an audience's attention and maintain their focus. By addressing the listener directly, this technique personalizes the subject matter, making it more relatable and engaging. Incorporating creative language into a speech can be achieved through the strategic use of unexpected phrases, as well as those designed to divert attention. Mentioning something peculiar like a silver cabbage. rather than a mundane term like green cabbage, is an effective way to grab listeners' attention and contribute to crafting an unforgettable message by introducing an element of surprise. But the power of persuasive language lies in the utilization of terms like all, natural, and captivating visuals, as they can effectively draw in customers. Advertisers frequently employ these tactics due to their proven track record of enticing consumers. Moreover, evocative imagery can craft a favorable initial impression even before the product's name is uttered. Authority. When leveraging influential individuals to convey a message, one amplifies the effectiveness of persuasion. This stems from the fact that people tend to have faith in authority figures and perceive them as less prone to error. As a result, companies frequently partner with well-known bloggers or social media personalities boasting significant followings to promote their products, capitalizing on the credibility associated with these influencers. A salesperson's credibility can significantly influence a potential buyer's response. For instance, when someone introduces themselves as a medical professional before presenting a new medication, they are more likely to receive a favorable reception compared to an unqualified pharmaceutical representative. This is because the individual's medical expertise, which people tend to trust, lends credibility to their pitch, increasing the likelihood of the audience considering the product. Similarly, visual symbols of authority, like uniforms or badges, can also expedite decision-making by projecting a sense of trustworthiness and legitimacy. Liking. Individuals are more inclined to agree with those in their social circle and reject offers from unfamiliar individuals. Recognizing this, fostering relationships with clients prior to presenting a sale is crucial in business. Establishing a friendly rapport can significantly improve one's chances of success. Even exceptional brands may falter in persuading customers if they neglect to form meaningful connections with them. Individuals tend to form stronger bonds with the individuals behind brands rather than the brand itself. Additionally, people are more receptive to opinions from those who share similarities or familiarity with them, as well as those who offer praise. Even seemingly minor interactions can significantly impact emotions and decision-making processes. A humble example of this is a doorman, who may feel inclined to help a tenant who consistently greets him warmly and inquires about his day, but may be less obliging to a snobbish tenant, illustrating how positive associations can foster goodwill, whereas negative ones can lead to indifference or even hostility. Commitment and consistency. Lack of genuine interest in the subject matter severely hampers one's ability to persuade others. People can sense when someone is unenthusiastic and are less likely to be swayed by their words. Authentic commitment is essential, as it inspires trust and motivates others to follow your lead. Moreover, consistency plays a crucial role. Frequent discussions on the same topic can ultimately capture people's attention and foster engagement. By leveraging the psychological principles of commitment and consistency, you can gain an upper hand by having individuals commit to a cause or action and then regularly reinforcing that pledge. Over time, as you consistently remind them of their commitment, they are more likely to follow through on their promise in order to maintain a sense of integrity and uphold their initial agreement. Reciprocation. The tendency to reciprocate a kindness exists. Individuals are more likely to return favors when someone has previously done something beneficial for them. This principle can be leveraged in persuasion by performing an act of kindness and then requesting a corresponding favor. In a business context, offering free consultations or discounts can create a sense of obligation, leading people to feel compelled to patronize your establishment after you ask them to do so, as they perceive the initial service as a debt to be repaid. Reciprocity's impact is evident in tipping practices. A waiter who provides a complimentary gift after meals can expect a more generous tip than one who doesn't, as customers feel inclined to reciprocate the gesture. Offering an extra mint increases this obligation, leading customers to tip more than they initially intended. Reciprocity also works by first requesting a significant favor and, upon rejection, scaling back to a smaller request. Given the initial large ask has been reduced, people are more likely to agree to the smaller request, demonstrating the effectiveness of reciprocity in motivating actions ranging from small favors to larger commitment. Social influence. As social creatures, humans often conform to norms because others have done so before them. They may also adopt behaviors or opinions simply because many others around them are engaging in similar actions, even if they don't fully endorse these choices themselves. In some cases, individuals will follow the crowd without critically evaluating the decisions, assuming that since most people are doing it, it must be correct and therefore worthy of their participation as well. Companies leverage social influence to draw in clients by showcasing endorsements from satisfied customers, thereby enticing new customers. The power of social proof suggests that individuals are more likely to purchase or adopt a product when they witness its use among others, whether familiar or unknown to them. This phenomenon also contributes to the persistence of habits like drinking, despite potential health drawbacks and unpleasant taste, as people often mimic their peers' behavior due to social influence. It's the primary motivator behind conforming to group norms. Being scarce. By restricting access to certain offerings, such as limited time deals or exclusive services, businesses can effectively use the scarcity tactic to persuade customers. This approach generates a sense of urgency by implying that if someone doesn't act quickly, they'll miss out on the opportunity. Scarcity leverages the concept of supply and demand, where a perceived shortage increases the desire for the item in question. When something appears rare or hard to get, people become more eager to acquire it before it's gone. For instance, if someone creates an illusion that a particular item has limited availability for only a short time, people become more eager to purchase it quickly before it's gone. This is known as the scarcity principle in action. A similar phenomenon occurs when a child is about to finish a favorite cookie. They tend to relish and enjoy it even more because of the impending loss, illustrating how perceived scarcity can heighten appreciation and value for something. Anchoring. A common persuasive tactic is anchoring, which involves setting an initial reference point to influence subsequent decisions or negotiations. In the context of car sales, representatives frequently employ this strategy by initially quoting a higher price, leaving room for potential customers to negotiate a more favorable deal. This opening offer serves as an anchor, shaping the customer's perception of the vehicle's value and providing a basis for further bargaining. For instance, if a car is valued at $13,000, the salesperson might initially quote you a higher price, such as $15,000. Most people would expect to haggle and lower this initial offer. After some back and forth, both parties typically settle on the original value of $13,000. While both sides are content with the negotiated price, the customer often feels more satisfied due to having saved $2,000 in the process. What might be unknown to you is that the initially quoted price served as a bait intended to entice and convince you to purchase the vehicle at a more reasonable, discounted rate. What appears as a reasonable price tag often reveals itself to be, in fact, the true worth of the product. This strategy, commonly employed in commerce, persuades consumers to make purchases by presenting them with an impression of value rather than a significant reduction in cost. It effectively sidesteps the expectation of substantial discounts, allowing businesses to maintain their profit margins while still appearing reasonable and fair. Putting your audience at ease. Effective persuaders possess exceptional communication abilities. They excel as listeners, engaging not to formulate a response, but to grasp the essential concerns of others. By doing so, they foster an environment where individuals feel heard and can subsequently devote attention to the speaker's message. Persuasive individuals also typically prioritize the perspectives of others over their own, allowing for more meaningful connections and increased receptivity. These individuals prioritize others' needs over their own, refraining from using first-person pronouns like it in their speech. Rather than expressing personal desires or opinions, they present their offerings as essential for the audience's benefit. They establish a connection by maintaining natural eye contact without staring intensely, and demonstrate empathy and an open-minded attitude. Persuasive individuals also remain composed and at ease, regardless of the response they receive. Establishing a rapport. To increase persuasiveness, start by building connections with others. People who ask about your well-being before making a request are subtly establishing rapport, aiming for a favorable outcome. This rapport-building approach applies beyond asking favors. It's essential when trying to sell products, influence opinions or ideas, and more. So, how can you effortlessly establish rapport? To establish a connection with someone, subtly mimic their non-verbal cues, such as hand movements. If they use gestures, imitate them. If they shift their posture, do the same in a genuine manner. The key is not to perfectly mirror, but to naturally synchronize your body language without overdoing it, ensuring the mirroring appears sincere and spontaneous rather than forced or artificial. For instance, when someone moves their right hand, you might move your left to create a sense of synchrony while avoiding an exact replica. This helps build rapport by signaling that you're engaged, attentive, and in tune with the other person's emotional state. Establishing a connection with others can be achieved by harmonizing your vocal patterns with theirs. The pitch and volume of your voice significantly impact how your message is perceived and acted upon. Additionally, synchronizing the speed at which you deliver your words with that of the person you're communicating with is crucial. When conversing with someone who speaks in soft tones, mirror their gentle approach. If they speak loudly, you can reciprocate by raising the volume of your voice as well, showing vulnerability. A crucial element in successful persuasion lies in forging a bond with a target audience, be it an individual or group. Demonstrating vulnerability is a powerful way to establish trust and credibility, as it highlights your humanity. By sharing personal mistakes and imperfections, you disarm skepticism and create an emotional connection that fosters receptivity to your message. When sharing your personal struggles, including failures and fears, you capture people's attention and help them relate to you on a deeper level. Some may initially object, but being open about your humanity fosters connection and trust with your audience. This vulnerability is more crucial than the content itself in building unity and establishing credibility. By discussing setbacks, you also convey a sense of authenticity and believability, making you a more effective communicator. Using names. Individuals skilled in persuasion are attuned to people's emotions. They excel in making others content and valued. One of their tactics is personalizing interactions by addressing individuals by their names. Rather than simply greeting someone, these persuaders take the extra step to ask for a person's name and incorporate it into subsequent conversations. This subtle act of referring to someone by their name conveys validation, fostering a sense of importance and satisfaction in that individual. Taking it a step further by recalling shared experiences or previous conversations with someone shows that they're important to you and worth remembering. Even if your general recall isn't exceptional, making an effort to learn and remember people's names can have cognitive benefits and pay off in the long run through creative strategies for memorization. This approach not only makes individuals feel valued, but also exercises and improves one's memory. Offering value. The art of persuasion lies in presenting individuals with something of worth. To effectively do so, one must first understand what others consider valuable or necessary. Additionally, being prepared to address potential concerns and reframing offerings in a way that highlights their benefits can significantly boost the persuasiveness of your pitch. By taking these steps, you can increase the likelihood of convincing others. It's crucial to anticipate potential objections by having solutions ready, but also important to trust in the quality of your offering to speak for itself. Pressuring individuals may backfire and undermine the inherent value of what you're presenting. When something holds real worth, it should be able to persuade people on its own merit, not solely because of someone else's persuasion. Self-deprecating. Surprisingly, individuals who frequently engage in self-deprecation possess high levels of confidence. Rather than concealing their imperfections, they acknowledge and cleverly utilize them to their benefit. By openly discussing their shortcomings with humor, they dispel any fear of appearing vulnerable. This tactic not only fosters a sense of vulnerability, making others more inclined to connect, but also serves as a humbling mechanism for those in positions of authority, encouraging others not to take them too seriously. By humbling yourself and downplaying status differences, you become more relatable. Additionally, self-deprecation builds trust by showcasing honesty. When you share your own weaknesses, you demonstrate authenticity, which is often met with appreciation. Genuine individuals offer sincere opinions. Thus, if they endorse a product, it's likely of high value. However, self-deprecation should be used judiciously to avoid coming across as inferior. It's more effective when delivered humorously and, ideally, spontaneously. Personal anecdotes, when used in a humble manner, can be effective tools for self-deprecation. To be successful, these stories should be brief, genuine, and directly relevant. Similarly, concise, informative statements, epigrammatic, can subtly convey modesty, as seen in Oscar Wilde's witty remark, "I'm not young enough to know everything." Humorous, self-deprecating statements can also serve as a conversational icebreaker, helping to create a relaxed atmosphere by acknowledging one's own flaws and limitations. To master persuasion, it's crucial to be aware of the tactics used to influence your decisions. Take a few minutes to reflect on why you did something for someone or agreed to something. There's a good chance a persuasive technique was employed to sway your choice. Try this exercise. Watch a random TV channel and note the various techniques used to persuade you, whether it's to switch shows, buy a product, use a service, or choose a vacation spot. This self-awareness will help you become more discerning in recognizing persuasion attempts and ultimately improve your own persuasive ability. As you learn about these persuasive methods, you'll gain a deeper appreciation for their impact and start applying them to enhance your own life. Mastering persuasion involves being well-informed and self-assured about the message you're trying to convey. These techniques can streamline your goal of achieving desired conversions, but it's equally crucial to cultivate knowledge and confidence in yourself and your message. To make a strong impression, minimize hesitations and avoid filler words like Using first-person pronouns, like it, can create distance from your audience. Instead, employ inclusive language with we and you to engage them. Non-verbal cues also play a crucial role. Exuding confidence through calm body language will keep the focus on your message rather than any perceived nervousness, ultimately increasing the effectiveness of your communication. Chapter 4. Using humor in persuasion. Persuasion involves modifying someone's perspective or actions through rational reasoning and evidence-based arguments. Notably, humor can significantly enhance this process by making the argument more relatable, memorable, and engaging. To achieve optimal results, it is crucial to strategically incorporate humor into a persuasive message in a way that effectively resonates with the target audience. Have you observed that certain TV commercials infuse humor into their messages? Even Langston Hughes, a renowned American poet, alluded to this phenomenon as laughing at what's lacking when it should be there. Humor is a potent tool for influencing someone's perspective or actions. To effectively deploy it in persuasive communication, one must know how to seamlessly integrate it into the message. The following points illustrate the role of humor and provide guidance on leveraging it to sway others. Humor should be relevant. People categorize their knowledge into mental frameworks called schemas, which are triggered when recalling related information. When applying humor, one draws upon this organized knowledge to craft a humorous narrative, visualizing the setting of the joke in their mind's eye. They must also detect and refine any inconsistencies between potential interpretations, preserving only the punchline's intended comedic effect. By employing these mental processes, an individual can not only appreciate a joke, but also engage others in its humor, sharing the joy they aim to convey. Effective persuasion hinges on understanding the audience's knowledge and using it to align a message's purpose. A humorous remark should logically relate to the real situation or product being addressed, fostering a mental link between the joke and its context. Humor can elicit laughter and pleasure, inducing a positive mood that makes listeners more receptive and open to the intended message. Surprisingly clever humor allows audiences to mentally connect the dots from their existing schema, interpreting the humorous intent. The more relevant and unexpected the humor is, the greater its influence on the audience will be. How to use humor to your advantage. Humor can yield numerous benefits when used effectively. The key is understanding when and how to incorporate it into a message. While someone may excel at making witty remarks, misusing humor can lead to awkward, embarrassing, or even offensive outcomes. To utilize humor wisely and maximize its positive impact, 3 crucial factors must be considered: timing, tone, and context. Grasping these elements empowers individuals to harness the power of fun, guiding them on when, how, and where to employ it for optimal results. To effectively communicate humor, it's crucial to grasp who your audience is and tailor your approach accordingly. Since humor is subjective, understanding the audience helps you avoid awkward situations by selecting jokes that resonate with them and skip ones that might offend or fall flat. Researching their mental frameworks or memory schemas enables you to craft clever connections between these frameworks and your message, making it more relatable and humorous for the target group. Effective humor integration involves cleverly extracting amusing elements from the topic at hand and applying them contextually so that the audience can relate and comprehend. It's essential to introduce humor at the right moment and in a suitable setting, much like advertisers use unexpected humor in commercials to make their product memorable. The seamless combination of content and comedic tone is key to achieving this fun integration. Also known as comedic timing, where context and mood are perfectly aligned. When communicating, utilize straightforward and clear language, so your message and humor are easily understood by your audience. In verbal communication, modulate your voice effectively to convey your message and humorous aspects in a captivating manner. Combining passion with humor helps the audience empathize with the situation as if they're experiencing it firsthand, allowing them to quickly grasp the context and mood. The benefit of humor in persuasion. Humor can be a powerful tool for shaping others' attitudes and actions. Incorporating a dash of wit into a persuasive message can significantly boost its effectiveness, leading people to be more receptive to new ideas and open to changing their minds. The advantages of employing humor in persuasion include: continues the list of benefits. Better health. Humor's potency lies in its ability to encourage laughter at ourselves or life circumstances, thereby fostering happiness and a positive disposition. This inner joy radiates outward, manifesting as physical positivity, which, in turn, yields better overall health and mental well-being. As we thrive physically, we gain the energy to explore new experiences and become more receptive to outside influences, further enriching our lives. Builds rapport. Humor plays a significant role in fostering connections and making individuals more endearing to others, thereby increasing their likability. As a key principle of persuasion, being liked significantly enhances one's persuasiveness, as people are naturally more receptive to and cooperative with those they find amiable. By rendering individuals more approachable and affable through humor, it ultimately facilitates the persuasion process by promoting a friendly dynamic between parties involved. obtaining concessions. Humor has a positive impact, inducing a sense of well-being and relaxation in those who experience it. This uplifting effect fosters an open-minded attitude, making individuals more receptive to suggestions and willing to accommodate others' demands. By using humor, one can effectively influence others, nudging them towards decisions that ultimately lead to the granting of permits and other desired outcomes. D. Improves communication. Humor plays a key role in facilitating effective communication by initially captivating an audience's attention. When humor is relevant, it keeps the audience engaged with the speaker's message, allowing for effortless persuasion and making the message more memorable. This, in turn, fosters a deeper understanding of the intended meaning and can prompt a change in perspective or behavior among listeners. A.D. Relieves tension. Laughter triggered by humor serves as a stress reliever, permitting individuals to unwind and alleviate tension. As an instance, when discussions turn tense during business negotiations, well-timed wit can help dissipate that pressure. This release of tension enables participants to be more persuasive in their consultations, ultimately leading to agreements and more harmonious conclusions. F. Positive emotions. A sunny disposition stems from experiencing positive emotions, with laughter serving as an effective catalyst for shifting negative sentiments to more optimistic ones. Those with a naturally upbeat outlook tend to perceive novel or contrasting scenarios in a favorable manner, making them more receptive to adopting new behaviors and attitudes upon direction. Humor's ability to elicit such positivity can significantly enhance the effectiveness of persuasive efforts regarding specific situations or actions. G. Reduces hostility. When humor is used, it has a calming effect, diminishing hostility and allowing individuals to be more receptive to persuasive ideas. Furthermore, humor can help people overcome negative emotions like hatred, enabling them to approach challenges with a clearer mind and a greater willingness to accept solutions. By diffusing the intense feelings that often cloud judgment, humor enables people to accurately identify problems and more readily accept the influence needed to resolve the issue at hand. H. Improves morale. Laughter has a profound impact on one's mental well-being, as it allows individuals to find humor in life's challenges and poke fun at their own misfortune. Despite the inevitability of negative experiences, the ability to laugh at them can significantly uplift morale, even in adverse circumstances. This boost in confidence often encourages people to be more receptive to novel solutions, fostering a willingness to adapt and address difficulties with fresh perspectives. I boosts brain power. Cleverness and the ability to think rapidly on one's feet are essential for incorporating effective humor. This, in turn, fosters creativity and mental acuity, leading to enhanced decision-making skills when faced with problems or situations. Humor keeps the mind active, encouraging individuals to be more adaptable in their approaches to various circumstances. As a result, they become more receptive to persuasion, open to considering diverse perspectives that may be necessary for finding the best solution. Smiling is contagious. When we encounter another's facial expressions, our brains automatically mimic those expressions as a way to intuitively comprehend their emotional state. This phenomenon occurs not only when interacting with others in person, but also when reading about their experiences in writing. The act of smiling is especially contagious, and through this unconscious mirroring, we can better grasp the emotions of those around us, responding empathetically and appropriately. When you smile, it fosters positive emotions in yourself and others, conveying warmth and friendliness. Mirroring someone's smile helps you tap into those pleasant feelings, making you more open and receptive to their approach. As a result, they are more likely to be attentive to what you're saying and follow your lead. By leveraging this tactic, you can strategically elicit good vibes and encourage positive reactions, setting the stage for effective persuasion. Irony. Irony occurs when the literal meaning of words diverges from the intended implication, often with the opposite result. By highlighting this incongruity in oneself or others, one can use irony as a persuasive tool to alter attitudes or behaviors. There are three primary types of irony. Understanding these varieties can aid in effectively employing them to influence others' thoughts and actions. A verbal irony occurs when someone utters words with a meaning opposite to their literal definition. A classic example is a sarcastic remark, such as when an unwanted guest enters your home and you say, "What a delight to see you," despite actually being displeased by their presence. In this case, the intended meaning, displeasure, contrasts with the literal meaning of the words spoken, appreciation. Situational irony occurs when an individual is oblivious to the unforeseen consequences of a situation affecting someone else, often laughing at or being unaware of an impending parallel experience that they themselves will face. In literature, this type of irony involves both the characters and the reader being equally unaware of the eventual outcome's impact, creating surprise and often humor once the connection becomes clear. Dramatic irony occurs when a story's characters unknowingly proceed through events, while the audience is privy to what's in store for them. The humor arises from realizing that the characters' seemingly innocent actions are actually foreshadowing their impending misfortune. This literary device can be powerful in conveying lessons by allowing readers to reflect on the characters' choices and attitudes before the consequences unfold. Irony effectively persuades by crafting relatable scenarios that convey valuable lessons about behavior and perception, ultimately prompting individuals to adjust their attitudes and actions when necessary. Humor is a versatile persuasive tactic that, when utilized effectively, can significantly impact the way people think and behave. To harness its power, one must comprehend how humor interacts with a specific context and timing. When applied correctly in a relevant situation, humor becomes a potent influencer of others' opinions and actions, capable of driving meaningful changes in attitudes and behaviors. Chapter 5. Persuasive Listening to Influence Human Behavior. How to become a better listener. Effective communication begins with the act of listening, which entails giving undivided attention to another person's spoken thoughts. This requires not only perceiving the auditory signals, but also grasping the underlying intent or meaning behind the words being exchanged. By doing so, we demonstrate our ability to comprehend and connect with others through a two-way flow of information. Listening consists of three processes: cultivating the desire to engage in active listening with others. The cognitive function involves grasping, absorbing, and deciphering the intended meaning behind a communicated message. Behavioral, responding to others with feedback. To improve our listening skills, we can benefit from regularly engaging in the following habits: actively concentrating on the speaker and their message, asking open-ended questions to encourage sharing and understanding, and avoiding distractions such as turning off electronic devices or finding a quiet space, reflecting back what we've heard to ensure comprehension and show interest, pausing before responding to allow for full consideration of the speaker's words. Practicing empathy by putting ourselves in others' shoes and trying to see things from their perspective. By incorporating these practices into our daily interactions, we can develop stronger listening skills that foster deeper connections with others. Maintaining direct gaze with someone fosters a greater sense of attention and engagement in the conversation. As we consistently make eye contact, our minds become more absorbed in the speaker's words and less prone to be sidetracked by external stimuli. Conversely, frequent glances away from the person speaking can convey a lack of attentiveness, implying that one is not truly listening. If you struggle to focus and are easily sidetracked, remove potential distractions from your immediate environment. This includes items like phones, tablets, writing utensils, and papers that might encourage mind wandering during conversations. By doing so, you'll be more likely to stay fully present and attentive to the person speaking, rather than allowing yourself to get distracted by these objects. Keep only what's essential nearby while engaging with others. To become an effective listener, refrain from interrupting or inserting your own thoughts when someone else is speaking. Instead, focus intently and wait for them to complete their thought. Only then should you share your insights, ensuring that your input remains relevant and not premature. By not preemptively crafting a response, you'll be better equipped to absorb the entirety of the information being conveyed. Be open about any constraints you may face in communication. For instance, if you're hard of hearing, inform others so they can adapt their volume or proximity for better comprehension. Similarly, when conversing, don't hesitate to reveal when you need a break or a pause to attend to personal needs, like eating. This transparency allows for more effective and respectful dialogue, eliminating the need for pretenses about being fully engaged. To improve listening skills, adopt a mindset of learning rather than mere politeness. When engaging in conversations, focus on extracting knowledge and insights, rather than simply being courteous. If you're not taking away valuable information, then you might as well be pretending to listen. Cultivate a genuine desire to learn from others, rather than just going through the motions out of obligation or goodwill. To improve your listening skills, adopt an inquisitive approach and ask thoughtful questions. By doing so, you enable the speaker to clarify any aspects that may have been unclear, thereby demonstrating a genuine interest in what they are saying. Active listeners exhibit curiosity through their questioning, leading to a deeper understanding of the topic or conversation. To improve your listening skills, adopt the mindset that you'll need to retell the information to someone else later on. This mental exercise enhances your focus and attentiveness, allowing you to absorb the message more effectively. By doing so, you become a better listener and gain a deeper understanding of what's being communicated. When conversing, pay attention to non-verbal cues from the other person. As a considerate listener, maintain a calm demeanor, even if the speaker appears anxious or agitated. Avoid giving off confrontational vibes. Also, be aware of changes in tone and pitch, as these can signal an attempt to convey strong emotions, such as excitement or frustration. When engaging with others through conversation, cultivate a non-judgmental attitude by refraining from forming opinions or making assumptions as the speaker begins to share their thought. Instead, strive for an open-minded approach, imagining how you would like it if you were in the speaker's position. Would you want someone actively listening and understanding your perspective? By adopting this mindset, you'll enhance your capacity for effective communication by becoming a more empathetic and attentive listener. Become an attentive listener. Studies indicate that the majority of us recall just a quarter to half of the information we're told orally. This highlights the importance of honing one's listening abilities. Below are several practical suggestions for developing greater attentiveness in our interactions with others. To be an effective communicator, focus on actively listening by concentrating on the speaker's words, remaining impartial, and refraining from interjecting. Additionally, consider any non-verbal cues that might relate to their message, such as body language or tone of voice, to gain a more comprehensive understanding. To better absorb and retain information from a conversation, strive for an emotional connection with the speaker. When you're invested in their feelings, whether it's sympathy for their sadness or joy in their triumphs, your level of engagement naturally increases as you resonate with their emotions. This empathetic response fosters a deeper attention to what they're saying. To effectively listen, focus intently on the speaker without interruptions. Establish a connection by maintaining eye contact and quieting internal distractions. Block out external distractions as well. Active listening also involves noticing non-verbal cues, such as the speaker's body language, to gain a more comprehensive understanding of their message. Effective listening involves the use of minimal encouragers, which are subtle cues that invite speakers to share more. These can be verbal, such as yoo-hoo, yay or mem, or non-verbal, like head nods, smiles, and the awk sign. By utilizing these, you demonstrate attentiveness and foster a supportive environment for open communication. 5. Gain understanding by reflecting on the speaker's point. You can process the message by reiterating and rephrasing it in your own words, seeking clarity when needed. This involves questioning what you've heard, such as what I think they're really saying is. Or in essence, they mean that to grasp the intended meaning more thoroughly. Effective listening often involves mirroring the speaker's nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions and body language, indicating full attention and engagement. Mimicking what someone says or does conveys agreement and appreciation for their message. When we mirror empathetic responses, it demonstrates our connection with the speaker and understanding of their emotions. When seated, subtly leaning forward can enhance your ability to be a focused listener. Additionally, subtly tilting your head or resting it in the palm of your hand can non-verbally convey that you're attentively engaged in the conversation, demonstrating your engagement and active listening skills. To be a good conversationalist, follow these guidelines. Prioritize uninterrupted communication by letting the speaker complete their thoughts and only ask questions once they've finished speaking. When you do ask a question, wait for the speaker to fully respond before giving your own answer. This demonstrates that you not only hear what's being said, but also comprehend its significance. Your responses should be directly related to the original inquiry, showcasing your understanding of the topic. To develop effective listening skills, it's essential to steer clear of detrimental habits, such as failing to demonstrate courtesy towards the speaker, interrupting or hurrying them along, losing focus through mind-wandering, dismissing unfamiliar concepts without seeking clarification, and posing off-topic or unimportant inquiries. By avoiding these pitfalls, you can cultivate a more attentive and receptive listening approach. How to connect with people. To foster a connection with someone, start by seeking commonalities between you two. These shared interests might arise organically in conversation. Be attentive and be on the lookout for topics like favorite sports teams, foods, or hobbies that can serve as conversational bridges. Instead of asking forced questions, allow these commonalities to emerge naturally as you engage with the person. To foster meaningful connections, prioritize creating a welcoming atmosphere for others. Display warmth through friendliness, radiate positivity, and be approachable to put people at ease in your presence. Conversely, refrain from exhibiting negative non-verbal cues that might make others feel uneasy around you. To foster connections, genuinely praise others. During interactions, pay attention to something impressive about the individual and express your admiration. Be mindful not to overpraise or focus solely on physical appearances. Instead, opt for specific comments like "I love that necklace," "Where did you find it?" as a way to show appreciation. When engaging in a conversation, subtly reiterating a point or phrase previously brought up by the other party demonstrates attentiveness and genuine interest in their thoughts. By echoing what they've said, you create a sense of mutual understanding and foster a stronger connection with them. This technique can be an effective way to build trust and rapport. To foster meaningful connections, be receptive and willing to be vulnerable by sharing aspects of yourself that others might find engaging. This doesn't require complete openness, but rather showcasing a slice of your life that resonates with others, allowing them to decide if they'd like to build a connection with you as well. True connections thrive when individuals are genuine and unpretentious. People tend to resonate with others who share similar qualities, values, or experiences. When one pretends to be something they're not, maintaining the facade becomes exhausting, as it requires consistent effort every time an interaction occurs. Authenticity simplifies relationships, allowing for deeper, more natural connections. Express genuine gratitude towards others as a foundation for meaningful connections. Acknowledging their efforts and specifically explaining why you're grateful for their services can foster deeper relationships by showing appreciation and understanding. This small act of thanks can have a profound impact on building trust and rapport. To foster meaningful relationships, make an effort to recall individuals' identities. Naming people is crucial, as many find it challenging, particularly in social situations. To improve your memory, repeat the name mentally, link it with a distinctive characteristic about that person, and strive to associate it firmly in your mind. When you address someone by their name, they feel noticed, valued, and appreciated. Be a source of added value by sharing useful insights or connections that pique others' curiosity. This could be as simple as sharing recipes you're familiar with, lending relevant resources, or pointing someone towards a helpful resource when their interests align with yours. Consistently providing small but thoughtful services is an effective way to build meaningful connections with people. Demonstrating genuine concern for others is an effective means of fostering strong bonds with them. By extending compassion and warmth, even in initial encounters, you can create a lasting impression and lay the groundwork for meaningful relationships. If engaging in conversations feels challenging, consider conducting some preliminary research beforehand. This strategic preparation can significantly enhance your self-assurance and facilitate smoother interactions. Reflect on potential topics or thought-provoking questions to maintain the conversation's momentum. By doing so, you'll be better equipped to engage with others and build rapport. The chameleon effect. The chameleon effect is an unconscious act of mirroring others' behaviors, facial expressions, attitudes, and postures in social interactions. This phenomenon involves adapting one's own behavior to match someone else's in a given setting. Examples include adopting the habits of a close friend after spending time together, or temporarily acquiring a foreign accent after prolonged interaction with someone from that region. Individuals often adopt behaviors from others, primarily as a means of boosting their likability. When we mirror someone's behavior, they tend to respond more positively towards us, likely due to the sense of familiarity it creates. This phenomenon also occurs naturally among people who get along well, as they unknowingly mimic each other's actions in social settings and everyday interactions. The chameleon-like ability for individuals to subtly mirror others' behavior fosters a sense of similarity, leading to strengthened connections and relationships. This phenomenon operates beneath conscious awareness, unlike deliberate mimicry, which involves intentional imitation. The chameleon effect's unconscious nature highlights its significance as an essential, yet often unacknowledged, social skill. To investigate a certain phenomenon, 3 studies were conducted to provide answers to the associated queries, such as: research suggests that individuals, even in brief encounters, tend to unconsciously imitate the behaviors and mannerisms of others, demonstrating a natural propensity for social mimicry. Research has found that engaging in mirroring behaviors towards someone can actually boost the level of affection and appreciation they have for you, as individuals tend to mirror others as a means of fostering greater social connections and increased liking. Individuals with a higher tendency to consider multiple viewpoints, high perspective takers, tend to display the chameleon effect, adapting their behavior and mannerisms to match those around them, to a greater extent compared to people who are less inclined to adopt various perspectives. Low perspective takers. Occurrence. Unnoticed by most, the chameleon effect takes place when individuals engage in conversations or interactions. This phenomenon involves adopting, often unconsciously, the emotional tone, physical gestures, and posture of someone we're fond of and share common ground with. Downside. Individuals with specific health conditions, such as autism, might struggle to employ the chameleon effect due to a lack of conscious and subconscious awareness of others' actions. This limited self-awareness can make it challenging for them to form meaningful connections or build rapport with others. Furthermore, individuals with autism are less likely to establish connections with others due to the lack of spontaneous imitation, which can inadvertently give the impression they're unapproachable or unwilling to engage. Without grasping nonverbal signals, people with autism may struggle to recognize and respond to subtle cues that facilitate social interactions in everyday settings. Development. During childhood development, parents mirror their infants' emotional displays, vocalizing the sentiment and mirroring physical reactions. This process aids the young one in linking feelings with corresponding facial expressions. As the child matures, they learn to express emotions, gestures, and facial expressions by imitating parental behaviors. Through this imitation, children cultivate self-regulation and self-awareness skills. As individuals mature, their ability to adaptively mirror others' behaviors and emotions fosters impressive social skills and paves the way for the formation of enduring, meaningful connections with others. Power dynamics. Individuals often emulate individuals of higher authority or prestige, creating an illusion of elevated status for themselves and fostering a connection with a powerful person. Conversely, mimicking those with lower status can be advantageous for people of lesser authority, as it enables them to influence privileged others in situations. Chapter 6. How to win friends. Your social connections can have a profound influence on your overall well-being and mental health. Valuable friendships offer emotional support, standing by you through life's challenges and sharing in both the hardships and triumphs. In times of joy, they join in celebration. During adversity, they provide comfort. Moreover, friends bring companionship, fostering happiness, while countering loneliness and isolation. Research highlights the significance of friendships by demonstrating that a deficiency in social connections is linked to increased tendencies towards substance misuse and physical inactivity, detrimental factors affecting overall well-being. Moreover, another investigation reveals that cultivating strong, purposeful relationships can contribute to an individual's lifespan. While the advantages of forming new relationships are undeniable, a candid acknowledgement must be made. As individuals advance in age, nurturing friendships becomes less effortless compared to the younger years. Yet, contrary to this trend, it's entirely feasible for anyone at any stage to cultivate profound bonds and establish lasting connections that transcend time, regardless of age. And mastering the art of connection, unlocking the power of persuasion for meaningful relationships. In today's world, building strong friendships requires more than just being a good conversationalist. It demands an understanding of how to effectively influence and persuade others, fostering genuine connections that stand the test of time. By cultivating these essential social skills, you'll discover the secrets to winning friends who share your values and support your endeavors, leading to lasting bonds and a richer personal life. Someone skilled at influencing and persuading others can effortlessly form friendships. To effectively persuade, it's crucial to initially establish a connection with those you want to convince. This bond can evolve into a meaningful friendship. Persuasion techniques not only facilitate convincing others, but also foster interpersonal connections, such as to be completed, 1. Listening. To foster meaningful friendships, individuals must possess strong communication skills, encompassing both verbal expression and attentive listening. Research suggests that effective communicators tend to be those who actively listen more than they speak, as opposed to dominating conversations. This skill is particularly vital in persuasion, where understanding the other person's needs through keen listening enables you to tailor your approach and meet their requirements. Moreover, by listening, you demonstrate empathy and concern for the individual, validating their thoughts and fostering a sense of being heard, a crucial aspect in nurturing friendships with those who are persuaded by attentive listeners. 2. Giving. Effective persuaders adopt a generous mindset, consistently providing without anticipating reciprocity. This thoughtful approach resonates well as individuals appreciate receiving gifts and favors. When this act of kindness is reciprocated, the beneficiary feels an obligation to return the favor or offer their own gift. The dynamics of giving among friends demonstrate that the persuasion habit of generosity can also foster meaningful friendships. 3. Liking. When trying to persuade others, understanding the power of attraction and similarity is crucial. People tend to be drawn to those who share physical attractiveness or commonalities with them. By highlighting these connections, persuasion can create a sense of shared identity or likeness in individuals. This principle applies to friendship formation as well. When we find common ground through shared interests, it's natural for these interactions to evolve into stronger bonds and ultimately friendships. 4. Showing vulnerability. Effective communicators understand the power of authenticity, using their imperfections as a means to build rapport. By openly acknowledging their flaws, they cultivate trust by demonstrating genuine honesty. Similarly, this vulnerability-based approach can foster strong friendships, as people generally perceive those willing to be vulnerable as more trustworthy, a crucial aspect in forming lasting bonds with others. 5. Being consistent. Gain trust and strengthen friendships by consistently demonstrating positive actions, sharing inspiring thoughts, and actively nurturing the bond through continuous effort and dedication. How to interest people. Kickstart interactions with enthusiasm. Initial encounters have a lasting impact, shaping our perception of someone, so it's crucial to exude friendliness and warmth during social engagements. By radiating positive energy, you foster a conducive atmosphere, empowering yourself to forge meaningful connections with others. To build connections, prioritize listening, 75, over speaking, 25. People often enjoy discussing their passions and interests, so allowing them to share about themselves can foster a strong bond. By asking follow-up questions, you can maintain engagement and demonstrate genuine interest in getting to know the person better. This not only strengthens relationships, but also allows you to discover commonalities and find topics of mutual interest. To foster connections, focus on making individuals feel valued without expecting anything in return. A simple, sincere compliment or acknowledging someone's positive qualities can swiftly establish trust and potentially transform acquaintances into friends, all within a few minutes of kind words. When someone fails to recall your name, it's often because they don't seem invested in getting to know you, leaving a negative impression. On the contrary, consistently using someone's name fosters a sense of importance, naturally piquing their interest in engaging further. For those who struggle with remembering names, developing a strategy to effectively learn and utilize them is crucial for building connections. How to win people with your way of thinking. By cultivating a specific mindset, you can train yourself to instinctively build rapport and gain influence with others, fostering an unconscious ability to win them over. 1. Being friendly. Exuding friendliness towards everyone, including unfamiliar individuals, cultivates a positive aura that draws people in. This attitude should be your initial response, even in challenging situations or when interacting with difficult individuals. By choosing friendliness, you can de-escalate tense scenarios and foster a more receptive environment. Moreover, consistently displaying genuine friendliness helps avoid the perception of insincerity, particularly if it's not motivated by personal gain. 2. Let the other person do most of the talking. A well-established truth is that individuals tend to enjoy hearing themselves speak. To maximize the positive impact of social interactions, it's advantageous to let others dominate conversations. You might be pleasantly surprised when people refer to you as a skilled conversationalist, despite your minimal speaking part. By actively listening and refraining from interrupting, you foster an environment where others feel valued and heard, leading them to develop a greater appreciation for your attentive presence. 3. Show respect to others' opinion. Regardless of whether you concur or disagree with someone's viewpoint, it's essential to permit them to express it openly, without prejudice. Never dismiss another's perspective solely because your own differs. Every individual has the right to their opinion. To better comprehend someone's stance, attempt to see things from their vantage point rather than your own. Rephrase the original statement. 4. Avoid criticizing, condemning, or correcting someone and refrain from asserting their mistake or incorrectness. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, strive for empathy and understanding in your interactions with others. Respect diverse perspectives by refraining from judgment or criticism during initial interactions. Silence can be beneficial in fostering positive connections. Engaging in arguments may lead to hurtful remarks that cannot be retracted. Instead of focusing on winning, strive for understanding and harmony, as the alternative can damage friendships and foster arrogance, ultimately hindering a healthy relationship. 5. Admit your mistakes. When you err, acknowledge the mistake, express regret, and demonstrate understanding of its impact. This not only showcases humility, but also fosters a culture of forgiveness in personal and professional relationships. By owning up to your errors, you project an aura of trustworthiness, facilitating stronger bonds with others. Moreover, swiftly moving past mistakes encourages growth and forward momentum. 6. Ask questions that require yes responses. To effortlessly win people over, establish a warm atmosphere where open dialogue can flourish. When engaging in conversation, steer towards uplifting subjects and sidestep contentious topics like politics. Utilize questions that elicit affirmative answers on which you both concur, fostering a sense of unity and increasing the likelihood that the person will continue to agree with you as the discussion unfolds. Allowing individuals to feel that their opinions and thoughts are valued by giving them the perception that they possess innovative or excellent concepts. While it may be challenging for some to concede, giving others the perception of originating your clever concepts can ultimately strengthen relationships. By presenting their thoughts as if they emerged organically within them, you earn social capital and foster a sense of mutual understanding, potentially leading to deeper connections with those individuals. Mastering the art of genuine connection, leveraging authentic impact rather than coercive control to foster meaningful relationships. True connection seeks genuine interactions rather than controlling others through deceitful means. When fostering lasting and significant bonds, it's crucial to employ authentic approaches that earn trust and respect from others. To achieve this, individuals should focus on 1. Being authentic. To have a lasting positive impact on others, it's essential to be genuine and true to yourself. Attempting to fake an identity or pretend to be someone else can ultimately undermine trust and harm relationships in the long run. Instead, identify what sets you apart and showcase those unique qualities enthusiastically, just as people eagerly buy something they truly value. 2. Using expertise. Individuals often respond to titles and authoritative personalities. By leveraging expertise in a specific domain, one can positively impact others and form meaningful connections, ultimately fostering friendships. If lacking formal title or status, it's essential to devise a plan for professional advancement, thereby establishing oneself as an authority figure. Those possessing authority are more likely to secure leadership roles and exploit their position to influence others effectively. 3. Leading by example. A powerful method for influencing individuals in support of a particular cause is to set a personal precedent. When an individual puts their words into action, demonstrating the same commitment they ask of others, they are more likely to gain followers. People naturally gravitate towards those who exhibit admirable behavior and seek to emulate or be affiliated with them. 4. Looking for good. Fostering friendships is often more successful when you choose to highlight individuals' accomplishments over their shortcomings. By focusing on people's good deeds rather than their mistakes or uncontrollable circumstances, you can create a positive atmosphere that draws others to you. This approach fosters a sense of warmth and support, making it more likely for people to be drawn to your optimistic and encouraging nature. 5. Praising and appreciating. Beyond highlighting an individual's positive qualities, it's effective to regularly offer sincere appreciation for their abilities and traits. Acknowledging and celebrating someone's achievements motivates them to strive for excellence and crave further recognition and support from you in the future. 6. Not wanting to be right all the time. To foster lasting friendships, one must abandon the compulsion to always be correct and instead prioritize kindness towards others. Engaging in disputes over who's right can be hurtful and lead individuals to perceive each other unfavorably. Perceiving someone as overly self-assured or even a bully is unlikely to inspire camaraderie. Embracing empathy and compassion in interpersonal interactions tends to yield more positive outcomes and stronger bonds with others. Chapter 7. Becoming a good conversationalist to influence others' behavior. In the digital era, the ability to converse effectively is increasingly overlooked, despite being as vital now as it ever was. Those who effortlessly engage in face-to-face interactions are perceived as approachable and likable, fostering long-lasting bonds with others. These connections can, in turn, boost one's career prospects or personal relationships. Excellent relationships, whether friendship, romance, or professional partnerships, often stem from an engaging conversation. Skilled conversationalists are a delight to interact with due to their palpable enthusiasm, empathy, and self-understanding. Their ability to effortlessly converse makes it simple for others to establish a strong connection right away, as they seem to possess a boundless well of topics to explore together. Conversing with individuals lacking communication skills can be uncomfortable and even distressing. These people frequently respond to queries with brief answers, leading to one-sided discussions or protracted silences. Frank Crane suggests that genuine, selfless curiosity about others and regular practice are essential qualities for a skilled conversationalist. For many individuals, initiating conversations with strangers or even acquaintances can be challenging. Nevertheless, the significance of fostering personal connections through face-to-face interactions cannot be overstated. The way we communicate during these encounters, whether in formal discussions or casual small talk, directly impacts the outcome and effectiveness of our exchanges with others. To effectively influence others through conversation, one must equip themselves with a well-rounded set of communication abilities. Some individuals effortlessly engage in discussions with diverse people, whereas others struggle even with casual conversations. The disparity between these two isn't about discovering common topics. It's about honing and refining one's conversational skills to sustain engaging interactions. Good conversationalists typically possess certain key traits, including 1. Active listening skills to fully comprehend what others are saying. 2. Empathy and understanding to connect with diverse perspectives. 3. A willingness to ask open-ended questions that encourage discussion. 4. The ability to adapt their tone and language to suit the conversation's context. 5. A sense of humor, which can help lighten the mood and create a more relaxed atmosphere. 6. Patience and the capacity to tolerate pauses or silence in the conversation. 7. Engaging storytelling skills to share personal experiences and maintain interest. 8. The ability to show genuine interest in others' lives and topics they are passionate about. These qualities enable effective communication, fostering stronger relationships, and a more enjoyable conversational experience for all parties involved. 1. Active listening. 2. Courtesy. 3. Ability to know what and when to share. 4. Knowing when to be silent. 5. Being interested, and curious. Restate as developing a dialogue that leaves the other party with a positive impression, fostering a sense of satisfaction from the interaction. Effective discussions necessitate a balance of contributions from both parties. In this dynamic, when one individual poses an inquiry, the other should respond with a thoughtful answer that fosters continued dialogue, much like a well-coordinated game of catch, where each player takes turns tossing and catching the ball without interruption or dropped passes. How to be a good conversationalist. Effective communication can lead to numerous opportunities. During in-person interactions, individuals often swiftly form impressions about someone's likability, trustworthiness, and credibility, even if it's just a brief exchange. At their core, people yearn for engaging conversations that foster learning, laughter, and cherished memories they'll eagerly reminisce about. Many popular talk show hosts share a common trait. They're exceptional conversationalists. Their charm lies in being witty, active listeners, and able to think on their feet. This is why millions tune in to late-night shows with enthusiasm. To develop strong conversational skills, consider the following strategies. 1. Have a good mindset going in. Entering unfamiliar settings that require social engagement can be daunting. Yet, approaching these situations with an open mind and eagerness to understand others can significantly enhance interpersonal connections and overall experience. By embracing curiosity, you'll foster meaningful interactions and turn potentially stressful encounters into opportunities for growth. 2. Be genuinely interested in the other person. To engage in a meaningful and enjoyable conversation, individuals should cultivate genuine interest in their conversational partner. To spark thoughtful discussion, they can pose reflective questions to themselves before speaking. These inquiries might include: what are this person's passions or hobbies? What are the most significant experiences that have shaped their life or opinions? What challenges are they currently facing or have overcome? How do their values align with mine, and what commonalities can we explore? Are there any cultural or personal aspects of their background I'm not familiar with? By internalizing these questions, individuals can develop a deeper understanding of the person they're speaking with and identify potential topics for discussion. This approach fosters empathy, builds connections, and leads to richer conversations. A. B. What is on this person's mind? A. B. Who is this person? A. C. What motivates him? Here. A. D. What does he/she like doing? For a meaningful dialogue, authenticity of interest matters more than anything else. A conversation without a genuine spark tends to fizzle out. In reality, there's little point engaging with someone if you're not genuinely invested in them. It's more practical to seek out individuals you truly want to converse with and have a deeper connection with them instead. 3. Focus on the positive. Shifting the focus towards uplifting subjects can lead to a more harmonious flow of conversations. By discussing optimistic topics like future aspirations and pleasant memories, interactions tend to be more productive. It's only when both parties are agreeable and there's a clear objective that negative topics should be addressed. Even then, it's best to approach them with purpose and not dwell on past issues or complaints. To foster engaging conversations, cultivate a forward-thinking attitude that prioritizes offering solutions over lamenting issues or demonstrates empathy rather than judging others. This mindset not only makes you more appealing as a conversational partner, but also helps avoid draining the energy of those around you, a phenomenon often referred to as being an energy vampire, by defaulting to negative and critical approaches. 4. Have a conversation, not an argument or debate. When discussions become confrontational, they often swiftly devolve and lose all substance. Adopting an arrogant and adversarial stance in dialogue can exhaustively drain another's mental and emotional reserves. Productive conversations are paths for exchanging perspectives, not platforms for dismissing others' views. It's crucial to engage respectfully and explore ideas without the expectation of resolving all differences. When consensus eludes, it's acceptable to maintain an open-ended discussion rather than forcing a resolution. 5. Be respectful. Embracing empathy and understanding, we should refrain from passing judgment or dictating others' perspectives. It's natural to share our own views, but crucial not to coerce others into adopting them. Furthermore, it's essential to respect individuals' boundaries, honoring their personal decisions without prejudice or interference in their space. 6. Put others in their best light. In a conversation, cultivate an atmosphere of positivity by focusing on the other person's strengths and accomplishments. Acknowledge and appreciate their contributions, as many individuals underestimate themselves. By doing so, you demonstrate exceptional conversational abilities and help others feel valued and confident in the process. Unify around shared foundations and celebrate the unique contributions of diverse perspectives. Despite distinct individualities, people share numerous similarities. It's crucial to acknowledge and celebrate these differences as they contribute to each person's uniqueness. When diverse perspectives clash, it's okay to respectfully part ways rather than forcing a resolution. During conversations, focus on finding common ground to foster connections and deepen understanding, ultimately enriching the exchange. This approach not only strengthens relationships, but also facilitates personal growth through the discovery of others' experiences and views. 8. Be true to self. One's authentic self is their greatest strength, making it essential to accept and allow it to radiate rather than masking it. A dialogue where one person merely parrots the other's sentiments is often monotonous and unfulfilling, as there will be no fresh perspectives or excitement in the conversation. Individuals who authentically represent themselves tend to express genuine views and perspectives with ease and tact. As a result, they take pride in their identity and convictions, willingly sharing these aspects of themselves with others. This openness fosters engaging conversations and influential relationships. 9. Equal sharing. Effective discussions frequently involve equitable participation from all involved. While the split may vary, be it 50-50, 60-40, or 40-60, the key principle is that each party should have a reasonable chance to engage in the dialogue and share their thoughts and ideas. Being eloquent doesn't automatically make someone a skilled communicator. A talented conversationalist truly listens, asks thoughtful follow-ups to show engagement, and reciprocates by sharing personal insights when others do so. Effective dialogue requires empathy, attentiveness, and a willingness to contribute equally in the conversation. One doesn't necessarily require the other party's inquiries to open up. Sharing can occur spontaneously. Moreover, some individuals avoid posing questions during conversations as they perceive it as intrusive or impolite, preferring instead to maintain a more passive communication style. 10. Give and take. In discussions, individuals may unexpectedly share awkward or offensive remarks, prompting adverse reactions from others. Skilled conversationalists, on the other hand, demonstrate emotional regulation by extending understanding rather than immediately judging. Recognizing that everyone can say something peculiar at some point, effective communicators respond with a shrug or laughter, viewing it as a harmless exchange of witty banter. Starting a conversation. A conversation acts as a fundamental component in creating and nurturing various social connections. When managed effectively, it can serve as a pathway to guide individuals toward the knowledge or outcome they seek. At first glance, conversations appear to be straightforward exchanges of opinions and perspectives. Yet, beneath this surface, they present significant opportunities for discovering new insights, fortifying relationships, and sharing one's own ideas, perspectives, and information. When interacting with those outside of close relationships, individuals often find themselves limited by rigid conversational structures and topic choices. Sharing exciting news or ideas with a friend can be more effortless than engaging a stranger in meaningful dialogue. Yet, highly skilled communicators possess the ability to redirect even casual conversations toward desired outcomes. To develop these skills, one must first master the art of initiating a conversation. Effective opening lines for steering conversations towards a specific goal include: to initiate a productive conversation, it's effective to begin by offering a sincere and specific praise or admiration that makes the person feel valued and appreciated. This initial positive statement serves as an icebreaker, helping to establish a rapport and making them more receptive and engaged in the discussion to follow. By doing so, you create a positive atmosphere where they're more likely to be open-minded and cooperative throughout the conversation. Begin by exploring topics like sports or the weather, which can serve as gateways to uncovering a wide range of related and tangential subjects for further investigation. Talk about the venue. Ask for a small, uncomplicated favor as a way to establish a natural sense of rapport and common ground with the person you're interacting with. This initial, seemingly minor request can subtly foster a deeper bond or shared understanding with the other party. Use a witty, clever remark to bring a grin to the other person's face, fostering an instant sense of rapport and potentially maintaining it throughout your interaction. Begin by bringing up a seemingly trivial or neutral topic, and then skillfully steer the ensuing discussion towards the intended focus or objective. Pose a specific, relevant query that focuses the discussion on the individual's preferred subject matter. Initiating a conversation can be the catalyst for exploring various directions. By asking targeted questions and responding thoughtfully, you can steer the discussion towards the specific theme or subject you want to address. About active listening. To effectively engage others and shape their actions, it's crucial to excel at active listening, a challenging yet achievable skill. With consistent effort, one can develop this ability to truly absorb and comprehend the messages of others, rather than just passively hearing them. Active listening requires full attention on what someone is saying, allowing for deeper understanding and meaningful connection. Active listening encompasses a multi-sensory approach, where one pays attention with not just their ears, but also their eyes and body language. This involves taking mental notes of non-verbal cues and fully engaging in the conversation to show genuine interest. If we don't display such engagement, the speaker might perceive their message as dull or unimportant. Effective conversationalists demonstrate active listening through a combination of verbal and non-verbal signals, such as inviting the speaker to continue, maintaining eye contact, nodding, and employing other non-verbal cues that foster a sense of being heard and understood. Effective interaction relies heavily on attentive listening, a skill that goes beyond mere auditory reception. True listening involves a deliberate and focused effort to comprehend another's perspective, demonstrating genuine interest in their thoughts and ideas. It's not just about hearing words, but also about committing to grasping the underlying meaning. Effective listening is marked by a range of nonverbal and verbal cues. These include posing thoughtful questions, displaying facial warmth through smiles, minimizing distractions, mirroring the speaker's emotions with expressions, adopting an open posture, maintaining steady eye contact, offering encouraging nods or words, seeking clarification on key points, restating ideas in one's own words, recalling pivotal details, and summarizing the previous speakers. Effective communication can shape how others behave. We often encounter situations where we need to impact people in social, professional, or personal contexts. This influence may manifest as inspiring, building relationships, securing support, persuading, or sparking imagination. Regardless of the form, being a skilled conversationalist simplifies the process and makes it more successful. Chapter 8. Read other people's body language. About non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication occurs through various channels, such as physical appearance, touch, facial expressions, posture, distance, and body language. This silent form of messaging conveys information without relying on spoken or written words. The effectiveness of a message can be greatly influenced by non-verbal cues. Accurate use of these signals often yields positive results, whereas incongruent verbal and non-verbal communication may lead to misunderstandings or misinterpretations. Proper synchronization between the two is essential for successful interpersonal interactions. Verbal cues are just as significant as spoken words in determining whether someone is being truthful and engaged. When non-verbal expressions align with verbal statements, it fosters trust, clear understanding, and a sense of connection. Conversely, mismatched signals can lead to discomfort, misunderstandings, and distrust. Initial perceptions are heavily influenced by non-verbal cues, as they represent one's self-portrayal during a first encounter. In fact, impressions can be formed in mere seconds, often within the first 4 seconds of meeting someone. Notably, non-verbal signals convey more significance than verbal communication, as they provide a comprehensive representation of a person's character without the need for words. Non-verbal cues, such as facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and physical touch, have several key roles in human interaction. 1. Complementary role. They support and reinforce verbal messages, adding clarity and emphasis to what is being communicated. 2. Supplementary role. Non-verbal cues can convey information that may not be explicitly stated verbally, often providing context or nuance. 3. Substitutional role. In situations where verbal communication isn't possible or effective, non-verbal signals can serve as a primary means of conveying meaning and intent. 4. Contrastive role. Non-verbal behavior can contradict or challenge what is being said verbally, hinting at underlying emotions, attitudes, or intentions that may not be explicitly expressed. These roles highlight the significance of non-verbal communication in shaping our understanding of others, influencing social dynamics, and facilitating effective human interaction. Reiterating non-verbal cues, such as a nod of the head in agreement, reinforces one's spoken words, making them more convincing and potent. This convergence of verbal and non-verbal signals, like saying yes and nodding simultaneously, can amplify the impact of a message and enhance overall communication effectiveness. Non-verbal cues can actually counteract the spoken message, leading to an inconsistency between what is said and shown. For instance, if someone claims they had a great time, but expresses themselves in a monotonous tone without displaying any emotional enthusiasm, this non-verbal behavior contradicts their verbal assertion, creating a disconnect. Enhancing non-verbal cues can amplify the effect of a message. To illustrate, combining a tangible gift with applause when congratulating a winner on their racing achievement can significantly boost the overall impact of the recognition. This synergy between verbal and non-verbal expressions can lead to a more profound and memorable communication experience. Non-verbal cues can amplify the intended meaning of a message by incorporating elements like body language, tone of voice, and deliberate pauses. This can be achieved through actions such as using expressive hand movements, varying one's pitch or volume, or pausing for emphasis. These techniques can strengthen the impact of a communication by adding layers of significance to the verbal content. Sometimes non-verbal cues can effectively convey messages in place of spoken words. An illustration of this is that a brief physical gesture, such as miming one's height with outstretched hands, can better convey the concept of being short compared to simply sharing numerical height information. Non-verbal communication can be a powerful substitute for verbal messaging in certain contexts. Non-verbal communication entails a twofold process: encoding and decoding. Encoding involves creating messages through non-verbal cues such as facial expressions, postures, gestures, touch, and body movements. Decoding, on the other hand, is the interpretation of these signals by the receiver. For successful encoding, universally recognized signals are essential. For effective decoding, prior knowledge or experience with certain situations often plays a crucial role. A simple example illustrates this. When a traffic police officer raises his hand at an intersection, a driver familiar with such gestures can infer that it's a signal to come to a halt based on their collective experiences with similar scenarios. Non-verbal communication primarily concentrates on three fundamental aspects. 1. Proxemics, the study of personal space and how individuals use it to convey messages such as comfort levels or discomfort. 2. Kinesics, analysis of body language, encompassing facial expressions, gestures, postures, and eye contact, all of which can reveal emotions, attitudes, and intention. 3. Chronemics, exploration of the role of time in communication, including punctuality, lateness, and the significance of timing within interactions to convey meaning or create impression. The context in which communication unfolds, referring to the setting or situation that shapes and influences the interaction between individuals. The physical characteristics of the encoder, how the communicators behave while conversing. Research indicates that non-verbal cues account for approximately 67% of the total communication process. To enhance one's overall communication abilities, it's crucial not only to pay attention to others' non-verbal signals, but also to be aware of and manage one's own non-verbal expression. Types of non-verbal communication. Beyond spoken language, there exist diverse forms of silent or unspoken expression that convey meaning and facilitate understanding between individuals, including gestures, facial expressions, body postures, touch, eye contact, and even spatial arrangements. These non-verbal cues are essential components of human interaction, often carrying significant emotional and contextual value in their own right. 1. Kinesics, or body language. This form of non-verbal expression is closely tied to bodily gestures, serving as a silent means of conveying meaning through the way we move and use our physical selves. It's a vital aspect of human interaction that transcends spoken language, allowing us to express ourselves and connect with others through subtle yet potent body language cues. Non-verbal cues are often conveyed through facial expressions, which include the eyes and various regions of the face. This silent communication can be achieved by nodding, shaking one's head, smiling, winking, laughing, or even yawning, all of which utilize distinct facial features. Non-verbal communication through eye contact conveys a range of emotions and intentions, including engagement, attention, and interest. The physical signs are varied, such as gazing, blinking, winking, or raising one's eyebrows. When someone is interested, their pupils tend to dilate. Eye contact length and consistency are linked to honesty, with prolonged gaze often indicating truthfulness. Conversely, frequent eye shifts can signify dishonesty or disinterest. Body language conveys important information about a person's character, emotional state, and attitude, even beyond spoken words. Non-verbal cues like slumping, sitting up straight, crossing arms, spreading or crossing legs can convey various messages: positive, negative, attentive, friendly, or unfriendly. A person's posture can reveal whether they're engaged, fond of someone, or not a fan. Environmental factors also impact posture. Individuals tend to adjust their body language according to the situation. For instance, one might sit up straight in a job interview and relax with a more casual slouch at a social gathering. This section discusses non-verbal communication through body language or gestures. Many people utilize natural and instinctive movements, like waving, pointing, or giving a thumbs up without much thought, often due to cultural upbringing. Nevertheless, gestures can be culturally specific, and their meanings may differ significantly across cultures. For instance, snapping one's fingers might prompt someone to hurry in one culture, but be considered rude if done close to the face in another. It is crucial to consider the cultural context of an individual when using gestures to avoid misinterpretation and potential misunderstandings. 2. Paralanguage or vocalics. This form of nonverbal communication relies on auditory cues like tone, loudness, speed, and inflection in speech. It often involves some level of background noise. A notable example is when someone claims to be joyful while conveying a neutral or even unhappy facial expression and speaking softly, illustrating the discrepancy between verbal and nonverbal messages. In addition to verbal communication, paralinguistic respiration encompasses various non-verbal cues that convey meaning. For instance, gasps can express alarm or distress due to labored breathing, while sighs often signify negative emotions such as frustration or disappointment. Throat clearing can signal the presence of someone in a room, serving as a non-verbal notification. Meanwhile, humming noises commonly indicate a desire to pause and reflect before continuing with the conversation. These paralinguistic features enrich our understanding of communication by providing additional layers of meaning beyond spoken word. 3. Haptics or touch. This form of nonverbal expression utilizes tactile perception. It encompasses the various forms of communication that rely on physical contact, such as greeting someone with a handshake, displaying affection through hand-holding, or expressing camaraderie via backslaps and high five. Additionally, our self-touch behaviors, like scratching or chest thumping, can also convey emotions without words. Touch serves as a nonverbal means of expressing empathy, love, and comfort among individuals. Its significance is contingent upon factors such as context, cultural background, the nature of physical contact, and the existing connection between the people involved. The nuances of touch can vary greatly based on these circumstances, allowing it to be a powerful and versatile form of communication. 4. Chronemics. This intangible form of communication, often overlooked, revolves around the concept of time. It encompasses various aspects, such as individuals' attitudes towards time, prioritization of time, organization of schedules, and responses to temporal factors in interaction. Illustrations of these differing time perceptions include one's capacity or inability to tolerate delay, a sense of punctuality, and the varying ways people experience and interact with the passage of time in communication. Various societies have distinct perspectives on the concept of time, ultimately shaping how they interact with each other. A notable distinction lies in monochronic and polychronic approaches to time management. Monochronics typically focus on one task at a time, whereas polychronics often juggle multiple activities concurrently. These differing time mindsets can significantly impact cross-cultural communication. 5. Personal appearance. Our attire, including colors chosen, hairstyles, and accessories, transmits subtle messages without spoken words. People frequently form impressions of others based on their outward appearance. A notable example is how the garments we wear can influence our perceived emotions. For instance, wearing vibrant clothing may evoke a sense of joy, while opting for more subdued attire might convey a mood of melancholy. Research suggests that an individual's visual presentation greatly influences others' perceptions, extending beyond salary, as it conveys intentional messages about their identity and intentions. Personal grooming decisions often carry significance for those around them, serving as a deliberate representation of one's desired persona. 6. Proxemics. This subtle signal relates to how much personal distance someone perceives as essential when interacting with others. Factors such as age, gender, and cultural background can shape an individual's sense of proximity or personal bubble. There are 4 primary aspects of proxemics that play a crucial role in human communication. The intimate space refers to a proximity of under 18 inches, typically inhabited by individuals who have a close and comfortable relationship with one another, such as a married couple or parent-child. This distance often reflects a high level of trust and familiarity among people. Personal proximity, a distance of around 0.5 to 2 meters, 18 inches to 4 feet, is the comfortable zone people typically occupy in casual social interactions with friends, fostering a sense of familiarity and relaxed communication. Point 3. Proxemic zone, spanning from 1, 2 to 3, 6 meters. This is the most frequently utilized spatial range, typically employed during interactions with peers, such as classmates or co-workers. 4. Public sphere. Referring to spaces larger than 12 feet in width, it represents the greatest distance that typically exists between a performer and their viewership, effectively defining the stage as the public space where artistic expressions come alive for larger audiences. The preceding passages differ significantly based on the nature of your connection to the individual in question, encompassing aspects such as emotions, closeness, and ease. Maintain positive body language. Through unspoken cues, including physical postures and hand movements, we can effectively communicate without words. When recipients respond favorably or with excitement to these nonverbal signals, it's referred to as positive body language. This type of communication often amplifies the impact of what we are verbally expressing. To project a confident and approachable demeanor, follow these guidelines for effective positive body language. Posture up. Stand tall with shoulders back, chest out, and head held high. Make eye contact. Engage others by maintaining direct, gentle gaze without being too intense. Smile naturally. Express genuine warmth through your facial expressions, but open and relaxed. Keep your arms and legs loose, avoiding crossed or tense positions. Use confident gestures. Utilize purposeful hand movements that convey enthusiasm and interest. Face the action. Face the action. Direct your body towards the person or subject you're interacting with to show engagement. And minimize fidgeting. Control restless habits like tapping feet, playing with hair, or adjusting clothes to appear more at ease. Stand up straight when speaking. Maintain a strong stance while sharing your thoughts to emphasize importance and conviction. By adopting these positive body language habits, you can better connect with others, build trust, and project confidence in various social and professional settings. Effective communication involves making meaningful visual connections by frequently exchanging eye contact during a conversation. Aim for brief, intermittent gazes, punctuated by natural blinks, rather than sustained stares. Engaging in this manner conveys genuine interest and engagement with the other person's thoughts. Maintain an approachable stance by adopting an open and relaxed posture. Steer clear of both slouching and stiffness. Instead, aim for a natural comfort level that conveys confidence in being at ease. This welcoming demeanor can help others feel more at home around you. When interacting with others, maintain an open posture by keeping your hands at your sides and refraining from crossing them. This conveys receptiveness to the other person's words. Only use hand gestures when speaking, as this reinforces and enhances your message. Additionally, establish a strong yet gentle handshake upon greeting someone. The tone of the conversation is often set by this initial interaction. Moreover, it's crucial to be aware of and respect various cultural greetings beforehand. 4. In interactions, adopt a consistent forward-leaning posture rather than retreating or leaning backward. By leaning forward during conversations, you demonstrate that you're attentively engaged and genuinely listening to others when they speak. By observing an individual's foot movements, you can often gauge their emotional state. To project a positive aura when sitting, subtly spread your legs apart to exude confidence and avoid restless movements like fidgeting or shuffling, as these actions convey a sense of uncertainty. Effective communication can be further enhanced through the use of affirmative nonverbal cues. Simple gestures like tilting one's head, extending a thumb upward, or flashing a friendly smile can convey understanding, assent, and active listening, fostering a sense of connection and rapport with others as they share their thoughts and ideas. Mirroring is a non-verbal technique where you subtly imitate someone's body language, tone of voice, and speaking style in a genuine manner, avoiding parody. This fosters a sense of connection between individuals as they feel understood and aligned with the mirroring person. By sharing similar non-verbal cues and attitudes, the other person is more likely to empathize and be receptive to your perspective. Ensure the clarity of your vocal communication by maintaining a suitable volume, pace, and tone. Vary your speed, neither too hastening nor lingering, allowing natural breathing breaks of relaxation and emphasis. This balanced approach aids in managing nervousness during verbal interactions. When attending a professional gathering or meeting, demonstrate your involvement and admiration for the speaker by taking notes. Doing so indicates a high level of attention and consideration. Additionally, make an effort to periodically look the speaker in the eye to foster a sense of connection and engagement. Avoid negative body language. Negative nonverbal cues can unwittingly convey emotions like annoyance, disinterest, hastiness, or self-doubt, often due to conscious or subconscious postures and facial expression. To prevent this, one should. The rest of the original text will follow in the next response. When interacting with others, maintaining genuine eye contact is crucial. Averting your gaze by staring at the floor or merely observing the person from the side can convey a lack of confidence in yourself or your message. It's essential to make natural eye contact and control excessive blinking during conversations. Frequent blinking can suggest you're uneasy about the discussion, undermining its effectiveness. Be mindful of your genuine facial expressions around others. A counterfeit grin can be quite noticeable. Instead, focus on wearing natural, authentic smiles that reflect your true emotions. Crossing one's arms can convey a negative impression in non-verbal communication, often signaling defensiveness, arrogance, or impatience, particularly when someone is speaking to you. To maintain a more positive demeanor, it's recommended to keep your hands by your sides and reserve raising them for deliberate gestures rather than crossing them over the chest. Many individuals have an unconscious habit of frequently covering areas of their body that make them uneasy, such as the genital region or midsection. This often stems from self-doubt and anxiety. By choosing clothing that instills confidence and embracing one's appearance, it's possible to overcome this tendency, demonstrating a more positive and assured attitude. When engaging in conversation, one non-verbal cue that can instantly convey distraction or impatience is the habit of fidgeting with nearby items. To prevent giving this impression, remove any objects from your vicinity that might tempt you to fiddle while talking, ensuring a more focused and attentive demeanor during interactions. Individuals experiencing self-doubt or anxiety often exhibit unconscious foot behaviors like shuffling, fidgeting, or brief toe tapping. As a habit-breaking strategy, it's essential to maintain a calm and relaxed stance with an open and steady posture for the feet in order to minimize these unintentional gestures. A7. Posture reflects confidence. Slouching with rounded shoulders and sunken chest can convey a sense of self-doubt and resignation. To exude confidence instead, adopt a natural yet upright stance while sitting or standing, avoiding both stiffness and slouching. Be mindful of your handshakes, as excessive enthusiasm can lead to awkwardness or even unintentional pain for the person on the receiving end. A strong handshake is appropriate, but be careful not to grip too firmly to avoid being perceived as rude or aggressive. When conversing with someone, a physical sign of disengagement is leaning away from them. This non-verbal cue can convey a lack of interest or impatience. To demonstrate genuine interest and engagement, it's essential to lean forward, indicating that you're fully focused on the speaker. When fidgeting with your facial features during conversations, you can inadvertently convey a poor impression, appearing unengaged, anxious, or preoccupied. It's best to minimize this habit as it may lead people to perceive you negatively. Additionally, playing with your nose is often associated with dishonesty. By being mindful of these non-verbal cues, you can project a more confident and genuine demeanor in social interactions. When addressing a large group, resist the urge to remain rigidly in one spot like a statue, as this can be perceived as a lack of confidence. Instead, learn to move naturally across the available stage area, conveying a sense of assurance and comfort. By doing so, you'll not only appear more confident, but also better engage your audience and make effective use of the space at your disposal. 12. Lip biting, a common habit to break it. Subtly, many people bite their lips without realizing it. This unconscious habit often appears when someone is indecisive, has made an error, or lacks conviction in their words. However, this habit can inadvertently divert others' attention away from the conversation at hand. To maintain engagement and confidence, consider breaking the habit of lip biting. How to read body language. The non-verbal cues of those surrounding us convey a wealth of information, often mirroring an individual's thoughts and feelings. Surprisingly, the majority of communication actually occurs through physical gestures rather than spoken words. As such, honing the skill to decipher these visual signals is crucial. Here are some key aspects to consider when reading people's body language. 1. Study the eyes. During conversations, observing someone's gaze can be revealing of their inner state. Lack of eye contact might suggest shyness or disinterest in the conversation. Averted eyes directed sideways often imply dishonesty, while downward gazes may indicate nervousness or submission. Eye contact can offer a non-verbal window into one's emotions and character. When interacting with someone, pay attention to non-verbal cues like pupils and eye movements. Dilation of pupils can signal a positive response towards you. Additionally, observe blinking patterns. Frequent blinking may indicate deception, while lack of blinking implies intense focus on the subject, you. Infrequent glancing might reveal their desire for something else, such as checking the time, which could signify boredom and a wish to leave. 3. Look at facial expressions. Despite people's ability to regulate their facial expressions, subtle cues can still be detected. A furrowed brow typically signifies disapproval or discontentment. Conversely, a smile often indicates agreement and engagement in the conversation. Pay attention to whether the smile is authentic or not, as genuine smiles involve the entire face, whereas fake ones primarily use the mouth. Inauthentic smiles may mask underlying dissatisfaction. 4. Observe closely for mirroring cues. It's believed that subtly mirroring someone's behavior is a sincere form of praise and an attempt to build a connection with them. Pay attention when others mirror your nonverbal cues, such as leaning on a surface. You might just catch them adopting the same posture in response. This mirroring can be seen as a sign of respect and a desire to bond. 5. Check on proximity. The proximity between individuals can influence the dynamics of their interaction. When standing near someone, that person may perceive you positively, while retreating when approached could indicate a lack of interest. Nevertheless, Respect for personal boundaries is crucial, as overstepping might lead individuals to feel uneasy or even threatened. This delicate balance is essential in fostering harmonious social interactions. 6. Pay attention to feet movement. While often overlooked, body language extends beyond hand movements and facial expressions to include foot cues that convey significant information about a person's attitude and emotions. When seated, an individual typically points their feet in the direction of their desired path, so if they're angled towards you, it suggests favorability and engagement. Conversely, pointing feet away implies disinterest and a preference for conversing with someone else. Moreover, restless foot movements like shuffling or fidgeting might indicate nervousness or discomfort. By paying attention to these subtle yet revealing signs from the lower half of the body, we can gain a more well-rounded understanding of another person's emotional state. 7. Hand signals. Body language can be subtly revealed through hand gestures too. When someone pockets their hands or touches their face, it's often an indication of dishonesty or anxiety. Meanwhile, placing one hand under the chin on the surface may suggest that person is engaged and focused. However, using two hands to support their head typically conveys boredom or disinterest. 8. Arm position. Notice the individual's body language, paying attention to their arm positioning. If arms are crossed, this might signify defensiveness, impatience, or closed-mindedness. Yet, if this posture is combined with a smile, it could indicate confidence and a carefree demeanor. On the other hand, resting one's hand on the hips often conveys a sense of dominance. 9. The mouth. The mouth can provide significant non-verbal cues in interpreting body language. Concealing the mouth with a gesture may signify politeness during natural bodily functions, like coughing, yawning, or sneezing. Lip biting could suggest fear, worry, or nervousness, while pursed lips might indicate disapproval or mistrust. A subtle upturn of the lips can imply favorability, whereas a downward turn may convey disapproval, sadness, or disappointment. 10. Gestures. Non-verbal cues like hand movements can convey clear information, such as counting on one's fingers or using a wave to get attention. Basic gestures like pointing and waving are widely understood. Yet the significance of these non-verbal signals can be culturally specific and open to misinterpretation when interacting with individuals from different cultural backgrounds. For instance, a V-shaped hand sign might symbolize triumph in some cultures, but be considered offensive or even represent peace in others. As such, our understanding of gestures can vary significantly across cultures. 11. Posture. Non-verbal cues like body language, particularly posture, reveal a great deal about an individual's emotional state and character. A relaxed, open stance often signals friendliness and approachability, whereas a closed or tense posture may suggest hostility or defensiveness, providing subtle insight into one's feelings and personality traits. Chapter 9. Develop emotional awareness. In the pursuit of a fulfilling personal life and professional accomplishments, emotional intelligence might hold greater significance than intellectual quotient (EQ). This refers to an individual's capacity to identify, manage their own emotions, as well as comprehend and navigate those of others. Acquiring this skill enables individuals not only to recognize and comprehend their own emotions, but also to empathetically grasp those of others. This emotional awareness primarily unfolds through non-verbal cues, which in turn shapes people's thought processes and influences the quality of their interpersonal connections and relationships. Individuals who actively cultivate emotional intelligence can form a stronger connection with their emotions, leading to more informed choices regarding significant issues and the ability to convert goals into tangible actions. The benefits of this self-awareness permeate various facets of one's life, encompassing a list forthcoming. 1. Performance at work or school. 2. Mental health. 3. Physical health. 4. Relationships. 5. Social intelligence. To cultivate this skill effectively, individuals must recognize the distinction between acquiring knowledge and practically utilizing it in their daily routines. Merely being aware of what's beneficial doesn't automatically translate to actual implementation, particularly when overwhelmed by stress. It's one thing to understand the importance of something, it's another to successfully incorporate that understanding amidst life's pressures. It's crucial to cultivate effective coping mechanisms for dealing with stress in order to maintain a high level of emotional intelligence. This heightened self-awareness can be accompanied by numerous benefits, such as acquiring the following valuable traits and competencies. A. Self-emotion. B. Ability to adapt to change. C. Self-control. D. Self-confidence. E. Conflict resolution skills. F. Negotiation skills. G. Empathy. Steps to develop emotional awareness. Certain individuals possess an innate capacity for emotional acuity. Regardless of the challenges they face or the circumstances, they consistently project a sense of composure. They intuitively know the most effective phrases and reactions to employ, making it rare to observe them in a state of distress, ire, or defensiveness. Their emotional equilibrium is often impressive and hard to detect any fluctuations from. Typically, individuals who achieve emotional intelligence take the initiative to nurture their self-awareness of emotions. As this skill is developed, the brain becomes more efficient, automating positive reactions and gradually replacing undesirable behaviors with better ones. Cultivating emotional awareness encompasses the growth of several key aspects, which include social awareness. Through dedication, persistence, and a gradual process, individuals can cultivate essential emotional acumen. As unique human beings with diverse requirements and desires, we each exhibit distinct emotional manifestations. Mastering the ability to navigate these varying emotional expressions calls for astute discernment and diplomacy. This is where emotional awareness proves invaluable. Social skills and social awareness allow individuals to decipher the constant stream of verbal and non-verbal cues exchanged during communication. These signals enable people to recognize others' emotions, priorities, and shifting emotional states in real time. Mindfulness plays a crucial role as a complement to social awareness, fostering a deeper understanding of oneself and others in the midst of interaction. To cultivate social awareness, it's essential to appreciate the value of attentively observing and considering others. This can't be accomplished when distracted by internal thoughts or daydreaming. Acquiring this skill necessitates maintaining a state of mindful presence, which entails the following practices. 1. Being fully engaged in the present moment. 2. Insert subsequent points, if anything. Prioritizing social engagement, putting aside distractions to fully engage with others. B. Actively observing and empathizing with others' emotions can provide valuable insights, not only into their emotional states, but also one's own, fostering a deeper understanding of shared human experiences. C. Paying attention to one's own emotional flow. Self-awareness. To cultivate emotional intelligence, one crucial step is to develop self-awareness. This means being intimately familiar with your own emotions, which in turn allows you to recognize how these feelings shape your behaviors and thoughts. To increase your self-awareness, ponder on the following questions. Do you feel a series of emotions that shift in response to the constantly evolving circumstances and events around you, with each moment potentially bringing a new emotional state? Do you often have intense emotions that both preoccupy you and draw the notice of those around you? Do you experience any bodily sensations, such as a lump in the throat, butterflies, or tension, in conjunction with your emotional states? Do you take the time to be aware of and consider the emotional impact of events on yourself, as well as any resulting outcomes or reactions? Do you possess the capacity to feel and exhibit distinct emotions through minute changes on your face, such as a furrowed brow or a gentle smile? If certain life experiences seem unusual or are unknown to you, it may indicate a lack of self-awareness. To cultivate emotional well-being and this awareness, one must reconnect with their inner emotions, comprehend them, accept them, and feel at ease with them. This can be achieved by cultivating mindfulness in daily practice. Mindfulness is the practice of deliberately concentrating on the current instant, untainted by bias or criticism. By doing so, it redirects one's focus away from entanglement in thoughts towards a deeper comprehension and gratitude for the present moment, encompassing both emotional and physical experiences. This mindful approach leads to a broader perspective on life and individual situations. Furthermore, mindfulness helps individuals center themselves, fostering a sense of calmness, while increasing self-awareness and emotional perception. Motivation. Individuals driven by motivation typically possess a strong sense of emotional acuity, granting them the capacity and enthusiasm to prioritize enduring over prompt achievements. Moreover, these individuals relish challenges, exhibit remarkable productivity, and consistently excel across various domains. Empathy. A crucial aspect of emotional intelligence involves empathizing with others by grasping their perspectives, requirements, and desires. Individuals with this trait excel in pinpointing and comprehending the emotions and feelings of others, often even when these are subtly expressed or not immediately apparent. As a result, these individuals excel at attentive communication, fostering connections, and maintaining those bonds. Moreover, they refrain from hasty judgments and stereotypes, instead embracing authenticity. Ultimately, they lead their lives with sincerity and transparency. Self-management. To cultivate emotional intelligence, individuals must learn to regulate their emotions so they can be harnessed for wise choices regarding behavior and actions. During periods of intense stress, many people struggle to manage their emotions, leading to impulsive decisions that may not align with their best interests. When overwhelmed by stress, making rational decisions becomes challenging. High stress can impair critical thinking, hindering the accurate assessment of one's own emotions and those of others. Nevertheless, emotions serve as valuable cues, providing insight into oneself and others. They are essential for personal growth and understanding. When individuals face intense pressure beyond their normal range, they often struggle to maintain composure. Yet, by cultivating the capacity for emotional awareness and stress management, people can adapt to challenging circumstances without sacrificing self-control and rational thinking. Moreover, these individuals possess the capacity to make more informed decisions, taking proactive steps, controlling impulsive actions and emotions, honoring their obligations, managing their emotional well-being, and effectively adjusting to changing situations. Relationship management. Effective collaboration begins with empathy, the capacity to comprehend and relate to others' emotions and experiences, a crucial aspect of emotional intelligence. As individuals cultivate this awareness, they can further develop vital life skills, ultimately nurturing richer, productive, and successful connections. It's crucial for individuals to recognize their use of nonverbal cues, as these silent signals often accompany spoken communication, revealing one's emotional state. Facial expressions, particularly around the forehead, mouth, nose, and eye areas, involuntarily convey emotions to others, making it impossible to communicate without sending non-verbal messages about one's feelings. Despite efforts to conceal emotions, the brain's emotional center remains vigilant and communicates feelings through involuntary facial and bodily signals. Recognizing and interpreting these nonverbal indicators is crucial for fostering stronger relationships, as it allows us to more accurately understand others' emotions and respond empathetically. An essential element of relationship building is the power of humor. Light-hearted moments, laughter, and playfulness are natural stress relievers that counterbalance anger and tension. Humor enables individuals to release emotional burdens while maintaining a realistic outlook. Sharing a good laugh can also have numerous benefits, including reducing stress, rebalancing one's nervous system, enhancing mental clarity, promoting calmness, and fostering empathy in relationships. Viewing conflict as a chance to deepen understanding of others and strengthen connections can significantly enhance one's relationship management abilities. The reality is that disagreements are an inherent part of human relationships. Diverse perspectives, expectations, and needs are bound to arise. Rather than viewing this diversity as a problem, it's essential to recognize the value in it. A homogeneous world would indeed be uninteresting. By embracing conflicts as opportunities for growth, individuals can cultivate more resilient and meaningful connections with others. To cultivate emotional intelligence through relationship management, one must learn to resolve disagreements constructively, thereby reinforcing trust among individuals. Rather than perceiving conflicts as punishments, people should recognize their potential to promote a sense of security, innovation, and personal liberty within relationships. Conflict can be a catalyst for positive growth rather than an obstacle. Self-confidence. Self-assurance is a vital aspect of emotional intelligence. It's the emotional core of one's character and typically characterizes individuals who exude a strong, optimistic self-image and genuine warmth towards both themselves and others, all without veering into arrogance. Self-assurance stems from a core conviction that one possesses the capability to accomplish goals and overcome challenges. When obstacles emerge, individuals with high self-confidence persist in believing in their abilities and strive to surmount hurdles rather than surrendering. A person's level of self-confidence ultimately defines what they can achieve across various aspects of life. Someone who lacks self-confidence may give up easily when faced with obstacles and might not even attempt to overcome them. On the other hand, excessive arrogance can also hinder emotional awareness, leading to negative consequences in one's personal, social, or professional life. This overconfidence, often referred to as pseudo-confidence, can be detrimental in various aspects of a person's life. Self-confidence arises from uplifting social interactions and social poise. This confidence is crucial for cultivating emotional acumen, a vital component in creating the favorable social encounters necessary for establishing self-worth. In essence, self-assurance shapes one's emotional understanding, which in turn positively impacts individuals' lives. The lack of self-confidence can significantly impact various facets of an individual's existence, often creating a perpetual cycle of struggle. When self-assurance is absent, it typically hampers one's self-awareness, making it even harder to accomplish goals across multiple domains of life. This interdependent relationship highlights the importance of cultivating confidence for personal growth and success. The uplifting aspect is that anyone can cultivate self-assurance and leverage it to accomplish their objectives. The pursuit of personal self-confidence or the effort to boost others' confidence is a valuable endeavor. An individual's level of self-confidence manifests in numerous aspects, including posture, behavior, verbal expressions, tone of voice, and more, making it a crucial trait to develop. Two fundamental pillars underpin self-confidence: self-esteem and self-efficacy. Self-efficacy arises when individuals perceive themselves and others similar to them, accomplishing important goals and developing valuable skills, often as a result of effort and perseverance, leading to success. This type of confidence, forged through hard work and achievement, empowers people to tackle obstacles more effectively and bounce back from setbacks with resilience. Self-esteem refers to a broader sense of self-assurance, encompassing one's capacity to manage life's challenges and the conviction that it's acceptable to be happy. This confidence stems from the dual perceptions: others' approval of oneself and one's own competence or righteous actions. Self-confidence plays a vital role in maintaining mental well-being, emotional intelligence, and overall health. While cognitive ability, like IQ, can significantly impact one's success, emotional intelligence is equally crucial for achieving personal goals and fostering connections with others. As a result, many organizations now prioritize testing emotional intelligence during the hiring process. Emotionally aware individuals are more likely to engage in self-reflection, acknowledging their strengths and weaknesses honestly. This introspective quality enables them to absorb feedback constructively, using it as an opportunity for growth and performance enhancement, regardless of their inherent abilities. Chapter 10. How to become more likable. Many individuals experience a sense of unpopularity at some stage, even with a strong network of loved ones. The universal desire is to gain widespread appreciation and admiration in various settings. professional, academic, and personal environments. While being naturally charming may seem like a birthright for some likable individuals, it's actually a skill set that can be acquired by anyone. When assessing our own likability, we should consider how others feel in our presence. Do they feel at ease, valued, and accepted? To cultivate likability, one must develop qualities such as approachability, warmth, emotional stability, trustworthiness, and openness. The best part is that these traits can be learned and honed over time. Trust and honesty. Strong connections rest upon a bedrock of faith and authenticity. As people come to rely on you, they are more apt to open up, collaborate, and achieve shared goals efficiently. To foster such trust, it's crucial to maintain an honest and open demeanor. By doing so, you create an environment where others feel comfortable sharing, working together, and achieving success through cooperation. Integrity is essential for establishing trust, as deception undermines this foundation. Authenticity plays a vital role in relationships, fostering trust and anchoring us in reality rather than illusion. Similarly, within organizations, the bond of trust between employees and leadership enhances productivity. To cultivate honesty and trust, consider these crucial elements. Understand yourself and what you want. To authentically interact with others, it's essential to have a deep understanding of one's own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. We must grasp our personal perspectives on life and those around us. Often actions aren't driven by genuine desires, but rather societal pressure or cultural norms. It's crucial to discern what we truly want from what others may expect of us. By doing so, we can foster self-awareness and honesty in both our internal reflections and external interactions with others. Let your actions match your words. Don't promote abstinence while indulging in excess yourself. In relationships, genuine affection is demonstrated through actions, not just verbal declarations. Deeds should be the loudest expression of love, making it more meaningful than mere words. Be open to feedback. Embracing a receptive mindset is essential for fostering genuine connections with others. By actively listening to their perspectives, we can cultivate empathy and understanding. It's crucial to create a safe environment where people feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and emotions about our actions or behavior without fear of reprisal. This openness encourages honesty and trust, leading to stronger, authentic relationships. Accept the other person the way she is. Despite our closeness to someone, divergent views on specific issues can still arise. Not perceiving others' perspectives doesn't imply they're incorrect or deceitful. It merely signifies a differing outlook. When we're genuine in our interactions, we can then embrace each other's authentic selves. Patience. Do you struggle with maintaining calm when faced with delays or setbacks? In everyday life, it's common to experience impatience at times, such as being stuck in traffic on the way to a meeting and becoming agitated by the unexpected wait. The description of feeling stressed and sweaty might resonate with your own experiences. When frustration takes the reins, it has far-reaching consequences. Not only do we suffer internally, but we can also wound others through hurtful words or actions. Irritability can spread to those around us, causing unnecessary tension. Furthermore, unchecked impatience can lead to increased stress, headaches, and a range of negative effects on our overall well-being. Those who lack patience often exhibit arrogance, insensitivity, and irritability. Their tendency to hastily form opinions can lead to mistakes. This mindset can strain professional and personal relationships. Fortunately, patience is a skill that can be developed through practice, much like any other ability. By doing so, one can cultivate more harmonious connections and make more thoughtful decisions. Benefits of developing patience. Reduces stress levels. As one's impatience escalates, stress tends to intensify, rendering individuals more prone to emotional outbursts like anger. Conversely, cultivating patience empowers people to govern their emotions, reducing the likelihood of sudden irritation. By embracing a patient mindset, individuals can navigate challenging circumstances with serenity and composure, ultimately fostering a more even-keel approach to life's tribulation. Owl helps you make better decisions. By being patient, one avoids hasty conclusions and choices, instead taking the necessary time to thoroughly assess the situation before arriving at a resolution. This approach effectively mitigates the likelihood of blunders and missteps, helps you to develop empathy and compassion. Individuals who exercise patience and empathy make a deliberate effort to grasp the experiences of those around them, fostering deeper connections and more sympathetic bonds with others as a result. Facilitates a deeper appreciation for the journey of personal development, or alternatively, empowers you to recognize and cherish the path of self-improvement. Perseverance is essential for initiating a project and sustaining the enthusiasm needed to bring it to fruition. This trait also fosters healthy growth in one's professional endeavors, such as a business, by allowing it to unfold at its natural pace, without pressuring immediate outcome. Patience doesn't require instant results. Instead, it provides the time necessary for steady progress and maturation. Tips to help you develop patience. Recognize your impatience. Identify the root causes of your impatience by reflecting on what drives your hurry. Record the specific situations or tasks that cause you stress and explore strategies for managing them. When feeling overwhelmed with responsibilities, adopt a more measured pace by breaking tasks into single, focused endeavors, rather than trying to tackle everything at once. Look into the source of your impatience. Feeling overwhelmed by a heavy workload, you might benefit from effective time management. By scheduling tasks in a manageable way, you can avoid feeling swamped and make progress on your responsibilities. Prioritize and divide your work into achievable chunks to boost productivity and reduce stress. Practice delayed gratification. Before treating yourself to pizza, take a moment to reflect upon your priorities. It's possible the craving stems from a deeper need rather than genuine hunger. Consider diverting those funds towards a more meaningful purchase instead. Pause and reassess before indulging in that slice of pie. Perhaps there are better ways to invest in your well-being and desires. Practice thinking before you speak. It's essential to take a thoughtful approach when communicating, considering the potential impact of our words on others, in order to foster a culture of respect and understanding by avoiding hurtful or unintended offense. Empathy. Empathy is the act of imaginatively stepping into another person's perspective to comprehend their emotional experiences. This entails being mindful of others' feelings and emotions. Empathy comes in three forms. A cognitive empathy is the ability to mentally step into another person's shoes, comprehending and adopting their perspective to understand their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Emotional empathy refers to the ability to genuinely experience and share another individual's feelings, such as tears of sorrow when consoling someone who has lost a loved one. It involves a deep understanding and connection with others' emotional states, allowing for a sense of shared emotional resonance. In this context, it's not just about acknowledging someone's emotions, but also feeling those emotions within oneself to some extent. Demonstrating tender understanding by internalizing others' emotions and responding with supportive measures to alleviate their distress. Boosting your empathetic skills is achievable through these tested and effective methods, allowing you to better understand others' perspectives and emotions. Embrace the power of self-challenge by confronting situations that push you beyond your usual boundaries. Stretch your horizons by attempting a novel experience that has the potential to bring you down to earth and foster humility in the process. Step outside your comfort zone by embarking on journeys to foreign lands, immersing yourself in various cultural settings, and broadening your horizons through new experiences. Cultivate self-awareness by exploring works that delve into the complexities of interpersonal connections and human emotions to enhance your capacity for empathy and understanding in personal and professional settings. Solicit input. Consistently pay attention to the perspectives of others and frequently follow up to gauge their progress and well-being. Active listening. Effective communication hinges upon a valuable skill, active listening. This involves dedicating undivided attention to the person speaking, summarizing their points in your own words, and resisting the urge to judge or interrupt. The goal is to fully absorb the speaker's message before offering a thoughtful response that demonstrates understanding of what was conveyed. By doing so, you foster deeper connections and facilitate more productive interactions with others. Through dedication and repetition, one can master the art of active listening, an invaluable ability that enhances personal and professional outcomes. By fostering a genuine sense of being heard and understood, this skill not only boosts job performance, but also strengthens relationships across various aspects of life, leading to a more harmonious and productive experience for all parties involved. 3 components to active listening. To effectively engage with a speaker, one must actively strive to grasp their intended meaning by focusing on both what is said, verbal cues, as well as how it's conveyed, non-verbal signals. 2. Recall and retain. The audience should absorb and remember the crucial aspects of what's being said. To facilitate this, they might jot down essential details to help solidify their understanding in their minds. Restate in one's own words. Provide a response that reflects an understanding of the original message, achieved by carefully considering and retaining the essential points made by the speaker. Features of active listening. Maintaining eye contact while someone speaks sends a positive message, conveying interest and engagement. It's effective when paired with a friendly smile or other forms of nonverbal communication, strengthening the connection between individuals in a conversation. Smile and nods. Nonverbal cues, indicative of attentive listening, include subtly adjusting one's physical position to demonstrate engagement. This might manifest as a slight forward lean when standing, or a gentle tilt of the torso while seated. Additionally, listeners may angle their head or rest it on the palm of their hand, conveying an attitude of deep consideration and focus on the speaker. A neutral and non-judgmental. Avoid distractions. Asking questions. Reflecting on what was said, asking for clarification, positive feedback, how to improve your active listening skills. When engaging in a conversation, it's essential to focus on the speaker by making eye contact. This means directing your attention away from distractions like phones and towards the person speaking. If direct eye contact feels uncomfortable, you can still show attentiveness by focusing on other facial features or even their shoulders. This non-verbal cue demonstrates respect and interest in the conversation. B. Visualize the message. Envision mental snapshots of what's being conveyed, creating a visual representation in your imagination. C. Practice active listening. Give the speaker your undivided attention until they've finished speaking, resisting the urge to form an opinion prematurely. Avoid interrupting others while they speak, as this may prevent you from fully understanding their point and comes across as impolite. Refrain from completing a speaker's sentence, even if you anticipate the rest of what they're saying. Instead, listen attentively and reserve your questions or comments for later in the conversation. To confirm comprehension of the speaker's point and avoid miscommunication, engage in reflective and clarifying activities. Reflection involves paraphrasing the original statement in your own words, demonstrating understanding and confirming that you're on the same wavelength as the speaker. Clarification, meanwhile, entails asking questions to address any unclear or ambiguous aspects of the message, ensuring a shared understanding. Distill main idea. Clearly convey the essential essence of the speaker's core message, highlighting the most significant and pivotal points that capture their primary intention or theme. Engage by sharing your perspective after fully understanding and considering what's been said. It's time for you to contribute your thoughts, opinions, or ideas to the discussion. To do so effectively, always be attentive listeners first, as this allows you to thoughtfully share your insights. Conflict resolution. At various stages, we all encounter conflicts, whether within our personal or professional spheres. If workplace conflicts aren't addressed effectively, they can impede overall productivity. The process of resolving such disputes is called conflict resolution, which involves a range of approaches and techniques. Key competencies employed in this process include 5 strategies of conflict resolution. 1. Avoiding. A prevalent strategy in conflict resolution is denial or avoidance, where both sides pretend the issue doesn't exist and instead of engaging, they disengage. Although this tactic can be effective in resolving minor disputes that will naturally dissipate over time, It's not a reliable approach for more substantial conflicts that require addressing underlying issues. 2. Competing. This scenario pits brute force against brute force, with the stronger party emerging victorious. However, this approach has limitations, as it doesn't allow the weaker party to air their grievances or propose alternative solutions, thereby hindering a more comprehensive resolution of the conflict. 3. Accommodating. Accommodation occurs when one person yields to another's needs or desires in order to maintain a peaceful coexistence, often prioritizing the preservation of their relationship over the resolution of disagreements. However, this willingness to compromise can sometimes lead to unaddressed concerns and ongoing tensions. 4. Collaborating. This approach necessitates collaborative efforts between the conflicting parties to mutually discover and settle on a resolution. This process demands a dedicated investment of time from each side, allowing them to collectively converge upon a mutually acceptable outcome. 5. Compromising. Compromise involves each side conceding certain demands in order to reach a mutually acceptable middle ground. While neither party fully achieves their desired outcome, this collaborative approach ensures fairness and can lead to a workable resolution. Interest. A strong inclination towards something or someone is what we call interest. When fostering a positive connection with someone, explore the commonalities you both enjoy. This could include shared pastimes or hobbies. To establish a rapport with someone new, take the initiative to learn about their preferences and favorite activities. Despite potential differences, another individual might possess a talent or interest that piques your curiosity and inspires you to acquire knowledge about it. Flexibility. This pertains to embracing adaptability, which entails being versatile, resilient, and proactive in response to changes. Life can unfold unexpectedly, and circumstances may not always align with our preferences. In such scenarios, we need to adjust our priorities accordingly. For businesses, flexibility is crucial for achieving success, staying competitive, and remaining relevant in an ever-changing environment. Adaptable employees are a valuable resource for organizations, as they play a crucial role in mitigating disruptions and maintaining goal-oriented focus. Additionally, these flexible individuals proactively extend assistance to their peers, fostering a supportive team environment. How to be more flexible. Be open-minded. Be prepared to consider alternative viewpoints, recognizing the value in diverse perspectives. Moreover, cultivate a willingness to actively listen to others' thoughts and adapt your understanding to incorporate their opinions. Be optimistic. Embrace a resilient mindset, regardless of the twists and turns life may take. For in the midst of change lies the potential for fresh beginnings and thrilling prospects to emerge. Stay calm. Sudden shifts can be unsettling, triggering a mix of anxiety and stress. To regain serenity, however, it's essential to find equilibrium in the face of turbulence. Plan ahead. While we can't guarantee a precise forecast of what's to come, we can proactively prepare for the unpredictable by assessing potential hazards and developing contingency strategies to mitigate their impact. Have a strong network support. A robust network of colleagues and loved ones who provide unwavering encouragement is crucial in navigating life's obstacles. Fostering harmonious connections with those around you, whether at work or home, can serve as a vital source of comfort during turbulent times. Good judgment. This refers to the capability of making informed, thoughtful decisions by accurately evaluating available choices and drawing astute conclusions based on a thorough understanding of the circumstances at hand. Alternatively, one might describe this as the skill of discerning and selecting the most advantageous course of action through sharp-minded analysis. Tips for having good judgment. Take a step back, ensure you've gathered all relevant information, and mentally exhaust all possible perspectives before forming an opinion or making a decision. Seek out diverse perspectives on the issue at hand to accumulate valuable insights, which in turn can inform and guide your decision-making process. Take a moment to reflect on whether the choice requires immediate action or can be postponed for a later time. Consider the urgency and potential consequences of your decision, allowing yourself the flexibility to decide when the optimal time is to take action. Reflect on your previous mistakes and use them as a valuable learning experience to improve moving forward. Persuasiveness. Convincing others of a particular viewpoint, securing their cooperation, or encouraging them to invest in a specific good is what persuasion entails. This ability can be developed through proper instruction and practice. How to improve your persuasion skills? Verify the credibility of your claims by having a sufficient amount of supporting data or facts at your disposal. Confirm the reliability and accuracy of your statements to maintain trustworthiness in your communication. Never use hesitant language like "I hope so." Match the other person's physical energy by mirroring their posture, whether it's taking a seat if they're already seated or standing up if they're standing. This helps build rapport and a sense of mutual comfort in the conversation. Empathetically engage with your target group, being attuned to their feelings and adapting your approach to resonate with them on a deeper level. Open-mindedness. This describes an individual who can accept, consider, and potentially adapt their perspectives in response to novel concepts, opinions, or data that diverge from their own belief. Such a person exhibits flexibility and responsiveness to fresh information, willing to modify their viewpoints as they encounter credible facts and evidence. As we expand our knowledge through novel approaches, our cognitive abilities enhance, leading to a more diverse range of experiences. Moreover, this versatility proves advantageous when tackling challenges, as we're inclined to explore multiple solutions. People who maintain an open-minded stance often fascinate others in conversations due to their 1. Unconventional perspectives, 2. Ability to consider alternative viewpoints, 3. Creativity in addressing complex issues, 4. Willingness to learn from diverse experiences and opinions. They are not quick to judge. They exhibit a natural curiosity, seeking to understand and learn more about the world and their existence within it. Because of their adaptability and capacity for transformation, these individuals tend to experience lower levels of stress as a result of being more resilient in the face of uncertainty or shifting circumstances. Individuals in question possess enhanced abilities for deliberation, judgment, and resolving complex issues effectively. Sense of humor. A keen sense of humor allows one to recognize and enjoy wit and comedic relief. While some may naturally possess this trait, it's also a skill that can be developed over time. Individuals with a strong sense of humor are often charismatic companions. Studies have demonstrated that cultivating a good sense of humor has numerous benefits for both mental and physical well-being. How to develop your sense of humor. Find humor in various forms of entertainment, such as watching stand-up comedy performances, reading amusing literature, or simply tuning into entertaining podcasts that bring a smile to your face. Master wit over whimsy. Your humor will resonate more if it's sharp and clever, rather than juvenile or absurd. Consider honing your comedic skills among familiar company as a precursor to perfecting your timing and tone. Discover the humor in your life experiences. As you find amusement in a particular matter, it's likely that others will too, since laughter often transcends individual boundaries and can be shared among people. Consider the moment and your listeners. Humor shouldn't be a constant, as it's more effective when it arises organically rather than being artificially inserted. Timing and audience awareness are key to a natural and engaging sense of humor. Good manners. Good etiquette encompasses proper behavior and courteous treatment of others, fostering a pleasant social atmosphere. These social skills are often developed from an early age, such as in kindergarten, while also being refined throughout one's life. Individuals who exhibit good manners tend to be enjoyable to be around. How to develop good manners. 1. Have good conversational etiquette. Master the art of politeness by incorporating pleasing and thank you into your daily interactions. As a rule of thumb, precede every request with a courteous please. Additionally, make it a habit to express gratitude by saying thank you whenever someone performs a kind act for you. When initiating a first encounter with someone, establish a connection by sharing your identity through your full name. A simple yet effective approach could be saying, "Hello, I'm Jane. What about you?" This encourages the other person to reciprocate and share their name in return, fostering an amiable tone for the subsequent interaction. Pay close attention to others as they speak, refraining from cutting in or finishing their sentences for you. It's crucial to be mindful of the words we use, as employing improper language can inadvertently give off a rude or uncouth impression. Instead, opting for respectful and considerate phrasing will contribute to more effective communication. 2. Show respect to others. Offer to help when someone needs your help. Be mindful of your interactions with others and their belongings. Only handle things that are rightfully yours, or if the owner has explicitly given you permission. Refrain from touching items that don't pertain to you. This demonstrates consideration and respect for individuals' boundaries and property. Congratulate people on their accomplishments. 3. Practice table manners. Wait until everybody is served before eating. Don't talk with food in your mouth. Instead of straining to grab something that's out of arm's reach, politely ask the person nearby to hand it over to you, promoting a more comfortable and safe interaction. This simple adjustment can help reduce fatigue, prevent injuries, and foster better communication in daily life or at work. By asking for assistance, we prioritize our well-being and demonstrate consideration for those around us. 4. Be respectful online. Don't insult others on social media. Always respect others' intellectual property by refraining from sharing their photographs on the internet unless you have received explicit consent to do so. Be cautious with sharing your personal details online and avoid over-revealing aspects of your life on social media platforms. Be considerate of others' boundaries and don't initiate unwanted communication, such as text messages or image sharing, without their prior consent or permission. Respect individuals' personal space and only share content with those who have expressed interest in receiving it from you. Supportiveness. Being supportive involves offering comfort, empathy, and motivation. The presence of such individuals in our lives is crucial as they serve as a reliable source of emotional sustenance during challenging times. Their company is also often characterized by warmth and amiability, making them a joy to be around. How you can be supportive. Be present as a supportive ear. Sometimes, simply sharing concerns with someone who actively listens without passing judgment can be the most valuable help a friend could ask for. Be a reliable source of guidance. Be prepared to share your insights and expertise as needed when friends seek your counsel in times of uncertainty or decision-making. Express warmth and fondness to the people in your life, conveying a sense of importance and tenderness towards them. Make it clear that you cherish and take an interest in their well-being. Develop a trustworthy and supportive relationship by being the go-to individual where friends feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, concerns, and emotions with you. A. Be trustworthy. B. Be enthusiastic. It entails demonstrating a heightened level of enthusiasm and fascination towards a particular subject matter, driving your motivation to actively engage with it. This passion serves as the catalyst that propels you to turn your attention into tangible accomplishments. How to become enthusiastic. A. Do what you love. Find what you enjoy doing. Consider the objectives that drive you forward. Clearly define the goals you wish to attain, and develop a strategy for realizing those ambitions effectively. Develop a strategy. Creating a thoughtfully organized agenda for your endeavors can instill excitement and motivation as you work towards your goals, making the experience more enjoyable and rewarding. Embrace the supportive energy of optimistic individuals, as their motivational influence can propel you toward realizing your aspirations and reaching your target objective. Encourage self-reflection by inquiring about one's skills and creative concepts, which can foster excitement and engagement. F. Have the right attitude. G. Give all your attention to what you are doing. H. Reduce anxiety levels. Master the skill of coping with and regulating stress. Start taking action on your tasks without delay and steer clear of putting things off. Just get going. Chapter 11. Influence and leading without authority. Effective leadership is a dynamic process involving the ability to make creative and inspiring choices, fostering collaboration to reach a shared objective. Leadership is an art form that demands harmonious integration of key qualities. By achieving this equilibrium, one can successfully lead while also providing guidance, oversight, and motivation without relying solely on authority. Influence describes one's capacity to persuasively alter another person's perspectives and actions, shaping them according to one's desired outcome. Exerting influence without relying on authority requires a skill that's developed by mastering factors contributing to impact. One way to do this is by understanding various leadership styles and their effects, as well as the behaviors conducive to leading or influencing others. Discover how you can guide and shape others' behavior effectively without leveraging power in the following information. Leadership. Leading is about stimulating others to achieve a certain objective. Leaders craft a shared vision, chart a course, and energize teams to work collectively towards realizing their targets. Some leaders employ leadership styles to sway their followers, using these approaches to motivate or drive individuals toward desired outcome. Each leader possesses a unique leadership style, yet the most impactful results often come from blending various styles. These methods adapt to diverse situations, enabling leaders to adjust their approach according to the context at hand. Democratic style. In collaborative leadership, a collective approach drives decision-making, with all team members playing an active role. The leader sets the course while individuals freely share and discuss their thoughts, fostering an environment of high morale and idea sharing. This style yields successful outcomes as each member contributes their best insights. Its adaptability has made it popular in both private enterprises and government organizations, valued for its engagement-driven productivity. The visionary style. Visionary leaders derive their motivation from a broad, aspirational perspective of an organization's future potential. They craft a compelling vision and rally team members towards achieving it. Thriving in challenging environments, they cultivate perseverance and unity among the team through shared determination and confidence. By fostering cohesion, they navigate organizations through transformative periods, instilling innovation and guiding the company towards positive growth. Commanding style. These strong leaders insist on prompt compliance and embody the conventional notion of leadership. Characterized by assertiveness, drive, and competitiveness, they motivate others to swiftly achieve their ambitious objectives. Their unwavering commitment to their work manifests in a demanding and challenging demeanor toward subordinates. With swift thinking and precise decision-making, they excel at crisis management. Moreover, their firm, authoritative nature enables them to effectively handle difficult individuals. Pace-setting style. Pace-setting leaders are highly driven individuals focused on achieving goals. They set a high bar for themselves and their team, serving as an example by consistently meeting these standards. When team members fall behind, pace-setters identify the issue and encourage improvement. If necessary, they may replace underperforming employees. Positive feedback is scarce, but leaders will intervene to accelerate progress or even take over tasks if development lags too far behind their expectations. Affiliative style. Affiliative leaders excel at fostering collaboration by resolving disputes, promoting harmonious interactions, and cultivating emotional connections among team members. They offer abundant praise, positive reinforcement, and encouragement to boost morale during challenges. Through a positive and creative approach, they consistently achieve results while maintaining high-quality work. These leaders communicate openly and honestly, clearly outlining expectations and procedures for success. Additionally, they successfully mediate conflicts in teams, revitalizing stressed members and guiding the group toward unity. Coaching styles. These leaders not only lead, but also develop their team members, thriving in a performance-driven environment where growth is essential. By nurturing their subordinate skills and preparing them for long-term success, they foster a culture of strength within the organization. The employees are seasoned, reliable, and well-versed in their roles within the company's overall strategy. Through motivation, encouragement, and inspiration, these leaders guide their team by providing clear direction while maintaining open and active communication. They assign tasks and duties effectively, empowering subordinates to excel in their roles. Tactics to influence without authority. Effectively shaping someone's perspective doesn't involve coercion. Instead, it's about guiding them towards a more beneficial outcome through their own volition. Learning to wield influence without relying on authority is crucial. Certain key strategies can aid in understanding how to positively influence others without resorting to force, such as insert tactics, information. A leader must foster a two-way exchange of knowledge by continually seeking out, gathering, and disseminating information to others. This involves sharing insights in a clear and consistent manner to maintain an ongoing flow of updated understanding. As leaders accumulate more information, they can provide increasingly precise guidance, allowing subordinates to better grasp their roles and responsibilities, ultimately responding effectively to the leader's directives. Attitude. A person's attitude towards others significantly impacts how they respond. This in turn affects whether others will follow that individual's lead. A positive attitude reveals a person's integrity, while an unfavorable one can erode trust. Attitude allows for genuine self-expression and fosters diligence through organization and preparation. It also influences tone of voice, word choice, and reaction to challenges. The right approach reflects a person's character, enhancing their ability to inspire and lead others. Resources. A person's assets, whether physical or intangible, serve as crucial instruments for persuasion. Effective utilization of these resources is pivotal to the success or failure of an undertaking. To successfully sway others, one must employ creative strategies in handling their resources. For instance, drawing from past experiences can inform financial decisions and guide the development of necessary skills and processes to achieve a specific objective. Resource management also involves prioritizing urgent matters, streamlining workloads, and optimizing systems, all of which have a direct impact on people. By leveraging these assets in a thoughtful and organized manner, an individual can rally a group towards unity and productivity. Expertise. Influence relies heavily on credibility, as trusted individuals who demonstrate expertise can inspire others to follow their guidance. When someone possesses knowledge in a particular field, it instills confidence in their abilities, causing others to seek out and respect their opinions. People believe experts because they perceive them as having accumulated extensive experience and a deep understanding of the subject matter. As a result, people are more likely to be persuaded by an expert's advice, driven by trust in their credentials and the assurance that their proposed solutions are well-informed and effective. Relationships. Building meaningful connections with people helps you grasp their behaviors, thought patterns, and beliefs across diverse situations. This understanding empowers you to decipher others' reactions and anticipate responses, allowing you to proactively address potential concerns by exploring alternative approaches. Moreover, strong relationships foster trust, making it more likely for others to willingly comply with your guidance. How to criticize without being hated. When delivered thoughtfully, constructive feedback can foster healthy relationships and personal development. However, careless criticism can lead to relationship ruin. To criticize effectively and minimize backlash, consider these strategies. 1. Be specific about the issue at hand, rather than making general attacks. 2. Focus on behaviors or actions, not the person as a whole. 3. Use it. Statements instead of accusatory statements. 4. Provide concrete examples to support your criticism. 5. Offer suggestions for improvement, rather than simply pointing out what's wrong. By adopting these approaches, you can use criticism as a tool for growth and understanding, rather than a source of conflict and resentment. Pragmatism emphasizes focusing on verifiable facts, rather than abstract ideas or theories. It's reasonable to utilize information that can be confirmed through evidence, as its credibility is rooted in objective truths rather than theoretical interpretation. When direct fact-checking isn't possible, rational examination of speculative concepts can potentially turn them into tangible reality. Empathy refers to the capacity to comprehend and relate to the emotional experiences of others. This involves offering constructive feedback that is delivered with compassion, rather than making negative judgments that might come across as critical or hurtful. Conclude constructive feedback by highlighting the positive aspects and emphasizing individual accomplishments to maintain a sense of pride and motivation within the group. This approach fosters a more receptive attitude towards improvement and encourages continued growth. Post-check regularly review previously resolved performance concerns to ensure the solution worked effectively. This ongoing evaluation helps prevent repeat issues and prepares for potential similar problems that may arise in the future by informing proactive measures. Not resolving issues independently hinders progress. Excessive cleanup of others' messes can even hinder motivation. This is because the underlying issue won't be fully addressed and will repeatedly resurface if not confronted directly. Proactive planning allows all stakeholders to thoroughly examine the issue's core cause, subsequently enabling them to develop a thoughtful and constructive solution. Provide constructive feedback efficiently. Offer feedback that's both kind and direct by starting with a casual tone and addressing the concern straightforwardly. Encourage the recipient to engage in a dialogue about the issue, allowing them to reflect on and resolve it. Foster an environment of mutual respect by being receptive to feedback as well. Focusing on self-assessment enables people to gain valuable insights into their capabilities and areas for growth. This process, in turn, fosters significant development not only for the individual, but also for those they interact with. Different types of influences. The way we exert our influence over others significantly affects the outcome, leading either to beneficial changes in behavior or attitudes or unfavorable consequences. Identifying the primary forms of influence, typically categorized into 4, enables one to strategically apply effective methods, recognizing when to utilize them and when to steer clear to achieve the desired impact on another person's conduct or mindset. A positively influential leader transforms those they guide over time, fostering growth and connections among team members while instilling leadership skills within them. Their dedication and enthusiasm generate enduring success, elevating the well-being and value of their subordinates' lives significantly upon departure. Leading with a negative influence can be highly detrimental because individuals with an overinflated sense of self-importance rely on coercion rather than inspiration to command attention, allegiance, and admiration from others. This approach breeds poor. Chapter 12. Use storytelling to influence people. Storytelling, a timeless tradition, has long served as a powerful means of conveying messages and shaping opinions. From ancient times to the present day, every aspect of our world, including our very lives, can be seen as a narrative waiting to be shared. By engaging our senses, emotions, and intellect, stories have the ability to captivate and connect with audiences in profound ways. A compelling narrative requires an emotional foundation and genuine, recognizable characters, fostering audience connection and broader understanding. To succeed, anticipate your audience, goal, and medium upfront. A great story should be distinct, captivating, and convey a sense of mission, dedication, and pride. You can use storytelling to grab their attention. To truly engage an audience, securing their full attention is crucial. But how do you achieve this? Surprisingly, storytelling remains one of the most effective methods to captivate any age group. Here's a list of innovative strategies that can help you grab and keep your audience's focus. To effectively begin a narrative, establish the setting by painting a vivid picture of the environment. Transport your readers to the scene by describing the surroundings. Is it a sun-kissed beach, a lush jungle, a bustling city, a serene countryside, or an intimate apartment? Incorporate sufficient details that allow your audience to conjure up mental images and immerse themselves in the world you're creating. Craft a compelling opening that hooks readers from the start. An engaging introduction is vital, as it sets the tone and sparks curiosity, encouraging readers to keep reading and find out what unfolds next. Just as in films, a captivating opening scene can make you sit up and crave more, eager to see how the story plays out. Transform personal anecdotes into engaging tales by drawing from your actual life experiences. These unique, genuine narratives resonate more with listeners than invented stories because they are relatable and feel like a first-hand account. By recounting events as if the audience was alongside you, you'll make them feel like active participants in the story, fostering a stronger connection. As a storyteller, incorporate physicality by utilizing facial expressions, hand gestures, and footwork to convey the narrative. Additionally, consider engaging the audience through participatory movements, inviting them to follow suit with certain bodily actions during the story. This interactive approach can enhance the listener's focus and immersion in the tale being told. Build suspense by posing intriguing questions. Start raising queries early on and gradually provide answers as the narrative unfolds. This technique keeps readers engaged, eager to learn more, and invested in the story's progression. Engage your audience on a deeper level by crafting your narrative to resonate emotionally, mentally, and visually with them. To truly captivate your audience's attention, it's essential to evoke strong emotions within them, fostering a connection that extends beyond mere intellectual interest. Employ evocative staging. By striking deliberate and emotive poses during pivotal narrative moments, you create a sense of anticipation, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats in suspense. This technique encourages critical thinking as they ponder the unfolding story, ensuring continued engagement until the very end. To add variety and engagement to storytelling, consider adopting distinct voices for different characters. This technique can make your narrative more captivating and memorable for listeners. By altering your tone, pitch, or inflection, you can bring characters to life and convey their unique personalities. For instance, when describing a bold individual, try using a deeper voice and standing tall to emulate their confidence. Present a believable protagonist that resonates with readers by infusing the character with authentic flaws and accomplishments, much like the people in their own lives. This helps create an emotional connection between the audience and the main character. Envision an enchanting narrative that captivates through the infusion of suspenseful moments, imbuing it with a sense of whimsy reminiscent of a timeless fairy tale. Weave in unexpected twists to keep the reader engaged, ultimately crafting a one-of-a-kind story that unfolds like a mesmerizing fable. Effective storytelling offers a resolution to a relevant concern. An excellent narrative should convey a central message, allowing the audience to gain insight and apply the solution to a common issue they may face in their lives. Encourage audience engagement by incorporating interactive elements into the narrative at some stage. This could involve opening up a queer session where viewers can pose queries, or alternatively, posing inquiries yourself and inviting the audience to respond with their thoughts and perspective. To craft an engaging narrative, ensure a satisfying resolution follows difficult or trying segments. Introduce dramatic moments that stir emotional responses in your audience, leaving them uncertain about the character's success. Create obstacles that make it challenging for the protagonist to reach their objectives, fostering empathy and suspense as viewers wonder if they will prevail. Focus on the essential elements. Weed out non-essential details that detract from achieving your intended purpose, honing in on what truly matters in your narrative. Use everyday experiences to strengthen understanding and recall. Illustrate abstract concepts or events with a relatable, tangible scenario that resonates with listeners or readers, making the information more impactful and easier to remember. For instance, instead of simply explaining a financial concept, use an anecdote about managing personal finances to drive home its significance in real life. Engage their imagination. Storytelling is a potent method for knowledge acquisition, applicable to both children and adults. This technique sparks creativity by captivating listeners' minds. A compelling narrative should simultaneously stimulate intellect and imagination, as vivid visualization fosters a stronger connection and increased likelihood of taking action. Stories that effectively evoke imagination have the power to motivate, influence, or inspire audiences. To achieve this, consider the following strategies. Craft an engaging narrative that conveys the essence of your message. This could be a personal account showcasing your passion for the topic, a riveting tale about someone else's experiences, or even a timeless wisdom anecdote. The story should captivate your audience and effectively summarize the key takeaways from your presentation. By doing so, it will leave a lasting impression on those listening. Pose an intriguing rhetorical question. Although you don't anticipate a loud response, the subtle contemplation that follows has a persuasive impact on the audience. A well-crafted and delivered question can sway the audience's opinion to align with your message, pique their curiosity, and encourage them to seek further information. Present a compelling fact. Offer a surprising piece of data that's relevant to your message and stems from a reliable study or research. For instance, a study led by Dr. Lutz on metastatic cancer patients discovered that radiation therapy efficiently alleviated bone pain for the patients, making it a secure and effective treatment option. This statistic should be directly tied to your presentation, persuading the audience to take action based on your proposals. The goal is to captivate the audience's attention with an unexpected finding that underscores the importance of adopting your recommended approach. Use a compelling and insightful quotation from a notable figure, aligning it with the core point you're conveying. This can add credibility, emotional resonance, and depth to your argument. Choose a quote that resonates with your message and audience, allowing its wisdom to strengthen your overall communication. Visualize your point with pictures. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Opt for images over lengthy text, as they can greatly enhance understanding and captivate the audience's imagination. By incorporating image metaphors into your presentation, you'll spark creative thinking and increase the likelihood that your message will resonate with your audience, ultimately persuading them of its value. Use visual aids and objects to enrich your storytelling. By incorporating props into your narrative, you can engage your audience's imagination and make them believe in the authenticity of the elements presented. These tangible items, such as a deck of cards, a map, or juggling balls, serve as a catalyst for the audience's creativity and imagination. Effective use of props can not only add humor to your story, but also reinforce the message you're conveying, making it more memorable and impactful. Harnessing the impact of video content in your storytelling enables strong connections with your audience, as visual engagement often surpasses mere understanding. By leveraging videos, you can stir emotions, grasp viewers' concerns, aspirations, and needs, ultimately providing tangible solutions that resonate deeply. Modulating your voice. To captivate your listeners, vary the pitch of your voice by speaking either louder or softer, transforming your narrative into a captivating performance. By doing so, you add an element of drama and intrigue to your storytelling, making it more engaging for your audience. Consistency in tone, though important, can have its drawbacks. When a speaker maintains the same vocal inflection for an extended period, it may lead to boredom and detachment among the listeners. As a result, they might become disengaged, their attention drifting away from the presentation as they tune into distractions like their phone or wandering thoughts instead. A speaker's initial moments have a significant impact on how an audience perceives them. Boredom or engagement often sets in within the first few minutes. By incorporating effective voice modulation techniques such as varying tone, pitch, and pace, a presenter can effectively shake off monotony, keep their audience engaged, and grab their attention from the start. How to modulate your voice effectively. Project a strong, distinct voice, but maintain a comfortable volume. Ensure that everyone in the room can easily hear and comprehend you without straining their ears. This doesn't require shouting. Instead, focus on speaking with clarity and confidence, as excessive loudness may alienate your audience and detract from the message's effectiveness. To maintain engagement with your audience, be mindful of the tone of your voice while speaking. Repeating a single tone will likely bore your listeners, making them disinterested. Instead, use inflections to keep the narrative dynamic. Elevate your pitch for certain parts and lower it for others, adapting your vocal expression to fit the story's natural flow. This variation in tone will help maintain an audience's interest throughout. Highlight crucial terms strategically to enhance the impact of your message and achieve your objectives. In narrative delivery, judiciously inserting dramatic pauses to emphasize key words can transform a story into an engaging and participatory experience for the audience. Craft an engaging address for your listeners by incorporating humor, when appropriate, to leave a positive impression. Develop a personal narrative that resonates with your audience through authentic, everyday examples they can relate to. Encourage a two-way dialogue by allowing and responding to questions from the audience. Ultimately, ensure your story effectively conveys a significant message that leaves a lasting impact on your listeners. Effective use of dramatic pauses is a vital component of engaging storytelling, allowing for brief moments of tension that encourage audience, contemplation, and anticipation. By strategically inserting these pauses at key points in your narrative, such as immediately following an introduction or before transitioning to a new aspect of the story, you create suspense and leave listeners eager to discover what unfolds next. Effective public speaking requires minimal use of verbal filler words like ash and ums. Repeatedly using these sounds during a presentation can detract from the message and disengage the audience, making it less likely for them to remain invested in what you're saying. When presenting, infuse your speech with energetic passion and unwavering self-assurance. Remember, your audience is seeking knowledge from you, so seize the opportunity to engage them by speaking with genuine enthusiasm. As you confidently share your message, it will resonate more deeply, fostering a sense of credibility and piquing the audience's interest in what you have to say. Basic rules of storytelling. While innate talent in storytelling exists, it's a skill that can be developed through study and practice. A great way to do so is by examining the work of masterful storytellers like Pixar, who are driven by their passion for storytelling and have garnered numerous awards as a result. Despite the many established rules governing storytelling, we'll focus on the most fundamental principles to establish a solid foundation. Here are some of the basic rules of storytelling. It should have a clear structure and purpose. To craft an engaging narrative, consider employing Ken Adams's story spine formula. It's structured like this. Once upon a time, there was, said to be, every day, a habit or routine. One day, inciting incident. Because of that, consequences or escalation. Until finally, climax or resolution. This framework is commonly known as the story spine. The story spine has the initial stage of a narrative establishes the key players and the context in which they operate, with the main character being formally introduced to set the scene for the story that unfolds. A pivotal moment of tension arises, prompting the main character to respond and make choices that shed light on a central theme or moral dilemma. Throughout their journey, the protagonist confronts various obstacles and difficulties, ultimately shaping their actions and decisions in response to these trials. A sequence of escalating incidents arises from the main character's choices at each pivotal moment, ultimately building towards a dramatic peak. The pivotal moment arrives when the central struggle is resolved, as the main character successfully navigates obstacles to emerge triumphant, ultimately transforming into a heroic figure. Give your narrative a clear objective. Consider what change or outcome you want to inspire in your audience once they've finished engaging with your story. This could be encouraging them to buy a product, support a cause, or adopt a particular mindset. A well-defined purpose will guide the direction and impact of your storytelling. It should be universal. To craft a distinctive narrative, find common ground with your audience while still conveying the tale in a fresh manner. One effective approach is to deconstruct stories that resonate with you, grasping what makes them compelling. As a writer, recognize your unique voice and utilize your strengths. Tap into your authentic, unfiltered perspective to produce genuine writing. Your preferences for various aspects of a narrative can vary greatly depending on the context. What resonates with you in one tale might be a different aspect that captivates you in another, such as the atmosphere or the message. Recognizing these unique connections will enable you to refine your storytelling skills by identifying your own strengths and areas for improvement, ultimately allowing you to craft stories that effectively resonate with your audience. Elevating tales often feature a relatable, sympathetic protagonist who defies the odds, typically in the form of an underdog character that audiences can rally behind and support throughout the narrative. Audiences often empathize with the main character and celebrate their triumphs, but they also have a soft spot for underdog stories. Witnessing the protagonist face hardships and setbacks can evoke feelings of compassion in viewers. The more adversity the protagonist encounters, the stronger the audience's emotional investment becomes in their journey as they root for their eventual success. As your character progresses from triumphs to dire circumstances, the stakes escalate, piquing the audience's interest and anticipation for a satisfying resolution. Maintain this sense of tension throughout the story, keeping readers invested until the protagonist overcomes or succumbs to the obstacles. In the latter case, their emotional investment in the character's fate will result in a deeper empathy and regret at the outcome. Great stories should attract our deepest emotions. To craft an effective narrative, consider the emotional impact it has on yourself as a storyteller. By recognizing your own reactions to stories, you'll gain insight into what resonates with others. Focusing on relatable character emotions is crucial in evoking a strong response from your audience, as this shared emotional connection fosters empathy and engagement. It should be surprising and unexpected. Make your narrative unpredictable by introducing complexities and suspense that pique the audience's interest and emotional investment. A surprising plot turn, such as the sudden elimination of a primary character, can drastically alter the direction of the story. The audience typically forms strong connections with main characters from the outset, expecting them to remain central throughout. When this expectation is subverted by an unexpected death or departure, it creates a jarring surprise that keeps the audience engaged and invested in the unfolding drama. Great stories are simple and focused. A compelling narrative should be clear and straightforward, with distinct characters that effectively portray the protagonist's personality to prevent repetition. It's crucial to distinguish between vital and superfluous elements, ensuring every aspect of the story contributes to the overall impact. The scenes, characters, tone, theme, and plot should harmonize seamlessly. Include humor in conversation. Injecting humor into dialogue enlivens the discussion, increasing one's likability factor. Laughter has been shown to alleviate stress, enhance bodily function, and even positively impact longevity. While we may not all be professional comedians, we can still learn to incorporate humor in our verbal interactions, thereby captivating our audiences and breaking the monotony of speech. The ability to do so can be honed and refined through practice. Infusing a presentation with humor is an effective way to captivate an audience and ensure your message lingers long after the talk concludes. To enhance your comedic capabilities and elevate your speeches, consider these helpful guidelines. 1. Identify the things that make you laugh. Pay heed to the sources of mirth and amusement that bring a smile to your face. Whether it's a favorite TV series, a side-splitting movie, or a hilarious book, by studying and internalizing the humor that resonates with you, you can infuse similar wit and humor into your conversations. Regularly immersing yourself in comedic content will stoke the fire of being funny within, helping you to become more adept at tickling others' funny bones as well. Draw inspiration from professional stand-up comedians' techniques. Study how they craft and deliver their jokes, paying attention to the pacing, tone, and flow of their material. By doing so, you'll be better equipped to organize and create a humorous presentation that engages your audience. Rephrase the statement. Reflect on your daily habits and behaviors, and recognize what specific actions or mannerisms consistently elicit laughter from those around you. These might be quirky sayings, humorous facial expressions, playful gestures, or even peculiar quirks in your behavior that bring a smile to others' faces. Within each of us lies a latent sense of humor, often expressed through the things that bring laughter from others. This might manifest as playfully mocking life's minor frustrations when they arise. Take note of these moments and find ways to weave them into your spoken words for added comedic effect. 3. Learn the basics of humor. If you're not inherently comedic, don't worry. You can still develop a sense of humor by learning fundamental techniques for crafting humorous expressions. By mastering these methods, you'll be able to create and incorporate witty wordplay into your conversations with ease. 4. Humor comes in the rewrites. Once you've crafted an initial humorous piece, refine it by tweaking, inserting, or eliminating lines to optimize its comedic effect. Strategically insert these humorous elements throughout the content to create a well-timed and effective punchline. 5. Keep working on it. Developing humor is a skill that demands dedication and consistent effort to refine. Don't anticipate immediate success. Instead, cultivate patience as you work on honing your comedic talents. As you persist in practice and study, your delivery will gradually become more amusing, ultimately leading to enhanced quality and effectiveness. Discovering the keys to unlocking laughter with your wit and comedy style. Develop a strong grasp of the language by cultivating a diverse and extensive understanding of its terminology, syntax, and nuances. When attempting to craft a humorous remark, stumbling over the right phrasing can lead to an uncomfortable situation, ultimately undermining the intended comedic effect. Expanding one's linguistic repertoire ensures a natural flow of expression, making it simpler to skillfully manipulate language and deliver an effective joke. Time your joke. Timing is crucial when incorporating humor into a presentation. Carefully consider the moment to share your joke, ensuring its relevance and potential for laughter. Gauge the effectiveness of your joke by asking yourself whether it would resonate better now or at a later point in your speech. By doing so, you can maximize the comedic impact on your audience. Master your facial reactions and let others enjoy their laughter, rather than feeling the need to participate in it immediately. Save your guffaws for after the punchline. As the comedian, it's more effective to maintain a straight face and allow the audience to fully absorb and appreciate the humor in your carefully crafted joke. The silence or subtle reaction can amplify the comedic impact, encouraging the listeners to laugh at the intended hilarity rather than being distracted by your own mirth. Display confidence when cracking a joke. Project a sense of self-assurance to command attention. Allow your wit to emerge organically, then express it boldly. Strive for subtlety in your humor, as genuine wit emerges effortlessly rather than through forced attempts at comedy. Authentic humor can't be coerced. It grows organically. Before attempting to amuse others, nurture your own comedic sensibilities. Compelled or artificial attempts at humor are often dull and unconvincing.